Welcome everybody, it's Friday and it's time for some Series E MultiVersus to wrap up your week. My name is Yeso, your host as always, so welcome in and hope you're having a wonderful week here so far. We are a little later than normal here today, so I'm going to make this quick because we got a tournament underway to get into and I don't want to waste your time. I want to get right into the fun. So real fast off the top, for those of you that are new, here's how Series E works. Now, Series E is a professional esports open circuit that absolutely anyone can join across multiple different titles. We've, of course, got Apex Legends, Guilty Gear Strive, and MultiVersus. Of course, maybe with some fun stuff with Halo Infinite, League of Legends going on the side. Now, the way that it works is players and teams come out, they compete in our open qualifiers, and the best of the best make it into Series E. Now, what does that mean for them? Well, players will get the opportunity to sign a contract, get signed by one of our partner brands, earn a monthly salary, and compete weekly for points and prize money. In MultiVersus, they compete every Friday against some of the best duos from all across North America. So if you and your friends want to get involved, need more information, head over to esportsarena.com today to check that out. As we get ready here for tonight, of course, we're getting very close to the end of the season. Things getting tight and interesting on our overall leaderboard. We checked it out last week. Of course, Vitamin Water, to nobody's surprise, sitting in first place. They have been our best team, bar none, here this season, and they're looking to continue that run. Of course, they had that strong, dominant stretch at the start of 2023. A couple of teams have been able to knock them off their pedestal as of late, and they actually had one of their roughest performances a week ago that we've seen in quite a while. We'll have to see if Vitamin Water can bounce back. Meanwhile, Aegon by AOC, Mike and Ike, and Team State Fair all duking it out to try and fight for, it seems like, just second place at this point with how dominant Vitamin Water has been. Keep an eye on all three of those partnered squads today because every single match is important to them as we get closer to the end of the season. We got a couple of great casters on the show here today. Tailwinds and Zipmaster Flex will be bringing you all of the action, and I'll be here to break things down in between. But let's not waste any further time. It's time to get into the fun, so let's go with some more Series E MultiVersus.
What's going to be the play? Uppercut. Yes, sir. Up there.
There we go.
We're
going to have a 2-whole stock lead.
Oh, and then the butt bomb conflict is out of there. Oh my God.
With you, but I mean, look at how close it is already. We have all 4 players at over 100%. Mirror Man's going to lose his first stock on the dagger on the Bella, which is going to be very good because then it could just be bringing himself right on over to deal with Martoon, and they're going to be able to get it to
He knows he can't really send Arya.
Bro, Mirror Man is looking so hard for this kill, and he's going to be able to get it. Oh my goodness. So blue team going to take the first game out of nowhere.
And thank you so much for bringing us in, Yeso. It's another Friday night. Of course, like he said, to end off the week, we got some more MultiVersus here with MultiVersus Series E Season 1. I am, of course, Tailwinds, and I'm joined by my good friend and co-caster, Zipmaster Flex. How's it going, my dude?
It's going good, man. I'm ready to see some MultiVersus action. I missed maybe a week or two, so I'm here to catch up and find out what's going on in these brackets, see who has become the cream of the crop. I know Team Mirror Man and Cosmix are going to be back at it again with the white vans, but I want to see what everybody else brings to the table, so this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, as far as I know, going into this week, Team Vitamin Water has been having a little bit of a less dominant performance going into these past few weeks. And so this week is going to be a big determination to see if they're going to be able to bounce back from the quote-unquote lacking performance. We can't say they've been lacking. They're the best team in Series E so far, but I mean, we just got to see if they're going to be able to bounce right back up like nothing ever happened. And I'm really looking to see the other teams as well to see how they do. But the only way they're going to be doing that is by dealing with the rule set that we got going on here. Double elimination in 2v2 format, of course, with matches being best of 3 until top 4. They will then turn into best of 5.
It's going to be some good stuff, man. All right, yeah, it's going to turn into best of 5 from there. The timer, obviously, is going to be 7 minutes on the default. Ring outs, you have the 4, as usual, for the 2v2 setting. We have stage hazards off. Perks are all legal. Winners must keep the same character. Losers can switch on a loss. Trophies Edge and Batcave, Sky Arena, platforms, and No Plat and Cromulons are the stage select as usual. And the prizing, you already know what it is. First place gets that 300, second place gets the 150, and third place with the $50. That is a total of $500. Now, I mean, Yeso already broke it down. So qualifying points, everybody's trying to earn a sponsorship. The team with the highest points or the teams with the highest points will get those contracts and be signed to a team. And so, you know, the breakdown is on the screen as you see it right there. Series E always putting out for the players, and the players are always showing out for you guys. I'm ready to see what they got tonight. I mean, these guys have been scrapping for a long time, trying to get some points after points after points. And I just want to see how it ends and who ends up getting sponsorships. We were talking about Team Vitamin Water. They already have their sponsorship. We've got Mike and Ike. We've got so on and so forth. Aegon by AOC. So I want to see who's next up on the docket, man.
Exactly. I mean, I'm looking to see if we can get a team that doesn't have a sponsorship in the top 4 here. That's what I want to see personally tonight. But either way, I'm just excited to watch more MultiVersus, man. Every single time I step away for like a few days and come back in and commentate, I'm just getting more passionate about the game every single time. So that's what I'm excited for. I'm just excited to see some more gameplay. But we'll be getting to that here real shortly. Our first set looks to be possibly...
Stay alert. Don't let them get the
yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
World's Greatest Detectives versus Team State Fair.
Hey, that's a good one to start out with, indeed.
All right, now, you know, State Fair, you already know, Clueless is the boy. I love to see Clueless play. And then I see Meth sitting on the Shaggy. I'm a fan of Shaggy. Coming into this matchup, you got the Wonder Woman and the Batman. That's, you know, 2 air juggle heavy characters, so it's going to be a little terrorizing in the airspace for Iron Giant. It's going to limit how he gets to play in this matchup, but I mean, it's Clueless, right? He's the best Iron Giant in my eyes, so it's going to be hard for them to really deal with him. They have a lot of damage onto him and on the map at the moment, so Team World's Greatest Detectives off to a great start.
Yeah, and the last time that I did see Meth and Clueless play, which was actually in a tournament that I hosted, Meth and Clueless actually won it. So they are playing really off of a really hot tournament from last couple weeks ago. So I'm really looking forward to see how they're playing. Meth was not playing Shaggy in that tournament either, so I'm surprised to see this character pick here, but it makes a lot of sense given that World's Greatest Detective decided to go with the Wonder Woman and Batman in this situation.
Yeah, Wonder Woman and Batman, I like it. I mean, like I said, the idea is perfect. But I mean, golly, a team combo gonna get K7 out of there after a great start for their team. They just couldn't find a finishing blow on either character. 157, 167, and you guys, the team that's been getting pummeled, comes away with the 2-point lead, turning into a 1-point lead very swiftly. You know, 174 on Iron Giant, he's at kill territory, but if you allow him to rack up damage at this point, before you get the KO on him, it's going to be a rough time.
Targeting Shaggy.
Yeah, and they've been having a really hard time trying to get any sort of kill here on Clueless so far. He's been really good at just being a wall. That's how you want to play with Iron Giant. You don't want to worry about, oh no, I'm getting a ton of damage. Oh no, I'm going to die quicker. It really doesn't matter with Iron Giant. He is such a heavy character that he really just doesn't have to worry about it here. And so far, K7 and Show Off and Legendary Pride have been having an issue trying to get a kill on him, but they were finally able to. At that high of a percent, though, I don't know if it's going to be too much of an advantage here, as they are such a high percent at this point.
Yeah, they got, you know, he got K7 to look, he's at 102, right? You finally got the KO, and he went out for that chase on the right side of the stage trying to get Clueless, but Clueless was moving and grooving out there, and he just could not find the hit. Finally landed the uppercut and got him out there. Nice, he got a good combo on the Shaggy. Meth was able to survive it, didn't KO. So, you know, if you're not able to get these timely knockouts and you're just racking up damage, you're a light character in Batman, and Batman's gonna fall to the top of the stage. I mean, at 127, right? Like, you're at 115 as Meth, and Meth is probably going to live to about 150 with Shaggy. So if you can't get the fast KOs, the light characters, I don't know if that's going to be the wave. Scrapping with Iron Giant right now. I see K7 really just swinging, trying to figure out which target to target. It seems like they don't know exactly what the game plan is right now. They don't know who they want to get onto. 155, like I said, onto Meth. He's onto the right side of the stage. They keep landing blows, but nothing strong enough to get him out of there.
Yeah, that's something I'm also noticing as well. They don't know, it doesn't seem like they know exactly who the real objective should be going into this, and that's been a big disadvantage for them. And another thing as well is that I am not used to seeing Legendary Pred going with any other character than Velma, so it's definitely a surprise that I'm seeing the Wonder Woman counterpick here, and so far it has not been to their advantage. I wouldn't be surprised going into this next game to see Legendary Pred switch back to Velma. And I think that might be what makes it for them.
I don't know, man. Like, I don't think there was anything wrong with that team. Like they literally started off with the lead. They started off doing great. It didn't figure out when to play a little more defensive and go for decisive blows. They just kept scrambling. That's where the issue came in my eyes. But other than that, like it looked good. I don't see anything wrong with what you're saying, them going to the Velma, but I also think that team was fine. But this is best of two, so I mean best of three. So first to two, you're already down one. I mean, maybe this is the time for the switch to happen.
Yeah, the way I see it is like Legendary Pride has played Velma for so long, he's just used to playing that supportive playstyle. And he's like one of the best when it comes to Velma as well. Definitely in the top 5 best Velma players in the world. So the fact that I see him going Wonder Woman is a little bit of a surprise for me, but it does make a little sense given the fact that Velma's been receiving a lot of nerfs lately. But at the same time, you're going from a supportive playstyle to a more aggressive / tanky playstyle, and that's very different comparing to each other. So going into the first game, it's not as surprising to me to see, okay, they're having a little bit of trouble coming up with a concise idea because they're not used to this team makeup. I don't know how long they've been going with this exact grouping of Wonder Woman and Batman, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the switch back to Velma just because they're so used to it.
I mean, this is K7 and Pred, dog. Like, I guarantee they didn't just go, hey, just randomly pick Wonder Woman and let's go fight these guys. Like, they've been using this team. You know what I mean? Like, they've been using these characters. They're used to it. They just ran into a wall, right? Like, it got to the point where they couldn't kill Shaggy. They couldn't KO Iron Giant. They allowed Iron Giant to get to 200 something and racked up damage. They allowed Shaggy to get to what? He was at 160 before his first stock fell. That wasn't, oh, we don't know what to do or we don't know this comp. It was just
they weren't able to rack up enough damage.
It was good. Yeah, it was good defense on the side of Team State Fair, but at the same time, you know, lack of decisive offense from World's Greatest Detectives. They're going back into it. You are correct. We got the Velma pick from Legendary Pred. I don't really, like I said, I don't think that they should have switched. They didn't need to, but they're back at it again with their main team. Let's see how this one plays out.
Yeah, one thing I was going to say as well is that they just weren't racking up as much damage in the first game that they could have. And so going with the Velma, that's so much DPS. That's so much damage that she can rack on as well. And that's going to be extremely helpful against Iron Giant in particular. Like we said, he's not going to die easily. So being able to rack up a lot of damage very quickly to try to get him out as soon as possible, that's going to be the real difference maker here.
I want to see the movement from Legendary Pred. Like normally when I see Velma, like the idea is just don't get hit and you're constantly just supporting your friend. But I see, like, you know what I mean? Legendary's at the highest damage right now. Lands the spike. My man's Meth coming over there to the side with the Dunkaroonie, the Blake Griffin, and gets that first stock. I mean, and that's not where you want to be, right? You're down a game. You're already down a stock. But a good dunk from K7 on the side of the stage. You don't want to play with that man out there with them down airs coming out from Batman.
Yeah, Legendary Pred was looking for K7 for help there when he lost the stock, wasn't able to get it, so K7 was like, alright, I'm gonna call you back here in a few minutes, and was able to do it with that spike on the Iron Giant. Alright, we see the Rage mode coming to play.
Okay.
On target.
Now, I mean, keep your eyes on K7. That's where I'm at with it, right? Look, he's got the damage on. He's in the orb. Nobody did anything. I thought they were going to combo off of it, but I guess Legendary Pred's presence right there made them really second guess whether to try to start a team combo and get him out of there. They didn't want to get damage racked up on him because they are down at the moment. Finally, boom, got that stock, all right? Now, it's damage on both of them. They were able to survive heavily for a long time on their first stocks in the first game, so we'll see what they can do here, but they are at a deficit. No, they cannot survive. Nice, hit the megaphone into the uppercut. K7 was ready on the receiving end of that assist and got the KO.
This is looking so much better now compared to what it was game one. They have a clear advantage going into this, over 100% on the Shaggy with 1 stack of Weekend, and that's certainly going to take it with the multi-stacks of the Weekend there. It's all about that DPS, baby. Legendary Pride and K7, they do it like no one else.
That was beautiful, beautiful. I like it. Like what we saw from him. I mean, so you were 100% correct. The switch was the answer. They were getting timely KOs, and they kept the damage. The defense was there for them, right? 4 KOs for K7. I mean, he was on top of it. But you saw the damage for Clueless and Meth. And I think Clueless was at 186 and then about 113 for Meth. Like, they couldn't get anything going. They couldn't get the damage that they wanted. They were finding moments to find KOs, but in neutral, they were losing big time.
Yeah, and the big problem with that for Meth and Clueless is just the simple fact that they have no way to really deal with all that DPS at once. Shaggy is a fantastic combo-centered character. He can do some ridiculous stuff, but the moment you're put in disadvantage with Shaggy, it's a little bit difficult to get out of it, unfortunately. And that's just because Shaggy is a close-range character. He only has Sandwich for extending out his range. That's really about it. So when you're put in a disadvantaged state with Shaggy, you have to figure out a way to try to get out of it as soon as possible, and you don't have too many options to do that. Now, going into this clip in particular here, this next one, really great stuff here coming in from K7. Look at that. He used the down tilt to get Iron Giant off stage and then going with the down special in the air to get that KO. Very nice awareness coming in from K7 to really put in some work there and getting that stock and really the advantage at that point.
Yeah, he guided it perfectly, right? He just chased down. He knew where he was like, you're gonna go over here. I'm gonna guide it over here. Even if you fade backwards, I can control this kick, and he got the KO. The uppercut on 101 damage on Shaggy, I can't believe that KO'd. And then the down air on the Batman, I won't even say I can't believe it because that dude he's so light, so like he gets KO'd very easily. But this one right here, he saw it. He's fighting Shaggy. He sees the megaphone hitting. He goes, oh yeah, it's money right here. It's money. He came over and landed it. And that timely KO early on Iron Giant, he wasn't even at 150. And you know what I mean? That's early for Iron Giant. And then he came over and got that KO. That definitely solidified the deal for these guys.
Exactly. There's a reason why I believed in this team when in game one I said that they needed to switch to it, because I've known both of these players since they started really playing MultiVersus competitively, and they have blown me away every single time I watch them play. They are one of my favorite teams to watch in this entire MultiVersus scene, and that's a good reason why they're able to quickly adapt that fast just by a simple character swap and are able to just dazzle people.
It's an exciting team, man. K7 is an exciting player in every game he plays. I mean, he comes from the NRS games and he goes over and he plays Strive. He comes over here to MultiVersus. He's always a pressure type player. He wants to get in and make you feel helpless. And so, like, he's always going to be exciting, right? He's going to blow you away every step of the way, like you said. Now, we got the Bugs Bunny switch from that, right? So Shaggy's off the docket. We're going to go over here to the Bugs Bunny. And I think with all the tools that Bugs Bunny has, you were talking about how Sandwich is the only thing Shaggy had. Now you have more tools to really cover space and help out the neutral and make Iron Giant able to survive even longer, because there's more things on the screen to stop team combos, to stop the self combos, and really make him work.
Yeah, this is the exact kind of counter pick you want here for Meth and Clueless, that they needed to go with a character like Bugs Bunny to take advantage of wacky shenanigans just like that and getting a random bomb rocket KO like that. But you know what? K7, he's going to use the second part of his name for a good reason, and he's going to show off with that first kill on their end.
That dude is a show-off. That's what he does. He makes sure that everything he does is a highlight. Whoa, the rocket hit. If Clueless was ready, he tried on reaction to go for that uppercut, but he was a little late. If he just did it preemptively, knowing, okay, that rocket's going to hit him and clocked him, that would have been a KO. But you're going to see K7 living, 146 on Clueless, standing behind his teammate, Meth, holding it down, throwing pies. Like what they're doing right now. They're playing in tandem. They're staying together.
Yeah, that's what they want to be doing here. Meth and Clueless want to be sticking together for the most part, because really Bugs Bunny is just able to throw out his multiple different types of projectiles to really protect Iron Giant and get him stacked up enough to be able to get the Rage meter fully filled, and then they're just able to wreak havoc with Rage mode. but we can't also forget about the rocket being a platform as well for your teammate because of stuff like that. So they, K7 and Legendary Pride, they have to be very careful here against this matchup in particular, but they've been doing a great job so far. It's really either team I could definitely see winning this at the point.
Well, this is still like fair, right? You're only down 2 stocks and your damage isn't high with either one of your characters. And so now, ooh, look at Meth out there on the side suffering, but good help from Clueless to save him and allow him to recover back onto the stage. My man K7 was putting on the pressure, putting himself in a situation to get that KO. Nice, the light bulb hits for Legendary Pred.
Oh, but they got the rage meter on.
Oh my gosh, that was scary. K7 was put into a bad situation right there.
Yo, Clueless with the rage meter and on top of it the nuts and bolts at the same time. They could not damage him at all when they were trying to double team him at that last point. And it got Meth into the ring at just the perfect time to be able to neutralize their opposition on him. But it's not going to matter because in the end, World's Greatest Detective is going to solve this case and move on to the next round into Winners Round 2.
K7 with the Sayer into the uppercut over there. He was like, okay, you're at high damage already, and I can see you're in distress. You're still trying to get back on this platform. He landed a Sayer, tacked on a little bit more damage, keep him stationary to make sure that that uppercut landed. Clean stuff, K7. I see you, my boy. I see you. Good stuff. That was a good set.
That was a really good set. That was all the stuff that I wanted to see. A bit of back and forth, and most importantly, just counterplays. I love seeing counterplays, how people like to adapt to situations, how they counter against each other in certain situations, and I love every single moment of it, and seeing it in the set, it's great, of course.
That was, I'm gonna go and say, I think Legendary Pred and K7, that was like the cleanest I've seen them play in a long time. No shade to them, they're still one of the best teams out, obviously. And when I see them in this tournament, they're playing against the best of the best, right? So it's no shade that, oh yeah, you're losing a lot, and I'm not getting to see the greatness that I know you guys are. This time I saw it. K7 was on heads. Whenever it was time to get the KOs, look at what he's doing to Iron Giant right here. Like you saw the light bulb is the one that got the KO on Legendary Pred, but he also was comboing Clueless and not. I mean, he got the KO on Meth. He was comboing Clueless to make sure he couldn't come over and help. And there goes that Sayer into uppercut that got the KO to close that one out. Goes straight over to the platform, his taunt. K7 was playing. That's the best. That's the best I've seen you play in a long time, K7. I love it. That was very, very nice gameplay.
Yeah, and we're gonna be now moving on to our next set here. I believe it's going to be the Moonlit Knights, Broskis and Oops Tier versus Team Aegon by AOC, which are going to be Ross and Cinco. So I'm really excited to see Ross and Cinco. I have not seen them play in a while, so I'm really looking forward to see how they've been doing. And of course, I gotta give a shout out to my homeboys, Broskis and Oops here on Moonlit Knights. I'm really excited to see them play once again. One of the flashiest teams to do it with that Superman and Velma combination. But who knows? We could see things change up on Broski and Oops Tier's side. I know that Broskis in particular has been experimenting with different characters, so we'll see if that happens here.
I've been seeing Ross and Cinco play a good bit, so I know what they're up to, and they've been looking good. But I will say they're in for some trouble because every time I see Broskis and Oops Tier is putting on a show. I mean, like that. I think that he's one of the most exciting players in MultiVersus. So, you never know what you're gonna get in the opening of a match somewhere random in the game. He ends up stealing 2 stocks. Like, you're never safe when Oops Tier is on the board. I guess the best Superman, right? Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah, I would consider Oops Tier like a Titan. He's gonna come right after you. He's got his reticle locked straight on you, and he's gonna put you off stage and kill you at early percent. However, one thing I do notice with the Oops Tier's gameplay is that whenever you don't allow him to do that, he does struggle a little bit. So we'll have to see if Ross and Cinco are able to take advantage of that. But here we go, going to start on Sky Arena with platforms and going with the Christmas skins between Oops Tier and Cinco. Loving the Christmas spirit in March.
Got them pajamas on, says somebody going night-night, you know what I mean? But there's 90 damage already on Oops here. So he hasn't really been having a great time, but got both of them out on the left side of the stage. Good dodges to get through mid-stage. Goes up, and the snatch of Rooney. Shaggy's gone. Oops here's gone. My goodness, what a start by Aegon by AOC.
Oh, but we were about to see what Oops here does best, and that's getting those off-stage kills at extremely early percent. But unfortunately, Ross knew it was coming, was going to be able to recover off towards the top a little bit. And now, Oops here got to figure out a way to save his brother here. And one thing I got to notice as well that I haven't realized yet, Broskies is going with the Shaggy.
Oh, man. I mean, I love to see anybody pick Shaggy, and I think he fits any team. Like I feel like I get a lot of guff from my co-casters whenever I say that. I think he fits any team. He can go anywhere, but he needs to be played immaculately. You were talking about earlier. He doesn't have the best movement. He does have a lot of defense to make up for the fact that he can't schmoove like other characters. But that dude, if he's hitting, he's hitting. And talk about getting hit. Carry two players at the same time.
Take it. Oh,
Ross
geez.
with the flight out to the right and got the KO. I love what I'm seeing. You know what? Ross said if you can't beat him, join him. Saw Oops Tier, saw Moonlit Nights, and was like, you know what? Come here. And you know what? That's not even the Christmas colors. That's the Valentine's Day colors. What are you talking about? I mean, what are you doing to me, man?
It's hard to tell with these team colors, okay? You gotta cut me some slack. They highlight them entirely with the color.
Talking about the Christmas spirit.
You know what? Then love is in the air.
Love's definitely in the air. I love that first game by Aegon by AOC. They were on top of it. Like you got the start. This is right when I was about to say he's at 90%. Goes up, catches the dodge, throws him. Oh my gosh. And then the team combo right afterwards, catching Oops here. And that is where the lead was started. Very low damage. You can see right here, 30 on to Oops here. And Broski's hurt a little bit. Got a KO up there on the top. But out here on the side of the stage, Ross catching that work.
Oh my
what a team combo.
I mean, one thing I have to say is that the spatial awareness on Ross in particular is amazing. Like we saw with that first stock there, Ross was able to get that first kill on Broski's, and then he immediately dropped down into up air to help Cinco get that kill. That's some great stuff that I love to see so much, because you don't see that in mid-level play. You don't see that in low-level play. I mean, of course. But at top-level play, those kind of important moments are just so cool. And I love seeing that Ross and Cinco, they take advantage of that really well. And I have to commit them for that. I have to give them that compliment.
Man, it's the control of the resources, the air resources. That's where that came in, right? You just got a KO. He went down for a quick touch on the ground and then came back up there and completed the other combo, right? And knowing I can't stay up here and keep the combo going, he had to go down, get the resources back, and then come back up and close up the combo. That is top tier gameplay in this game. That is bar none some of the best gameplay you could possibly see, making sure that both of them get eliminated off the back of your hard labor. And now going into game number 2, Aegon by AOC is they're down, but they're not out. We'll see what they can do here.
Yeah, going on to Trophy's Edge, very well balanced stage, of course, and I'm surprised to see Broski sticking with the Shaggy, but you know what? It's been doing them well so far. They were able to get 2 stocks on the first game, so it's not like there's any reason to swap out just yet. However, already it's been relatively even. No, it's not been relatively even, actually. Moonlit Knights have been doing a great job so far at really just turning the tides compared to the first game there. Oh, Usyr was so close to get that kill off the top there on Ross, but his movement is so crisp. Oh my goodness. But every single time Ross knows he's going straight after him with these like straight line bolt right to you moments, and he's able to dodge them out. Oh my goodness.
Man, I mean, with all that being said, it was great gameplay. We're going to lose a stock. Blue team is in the lead. We got a lot of damage sitting here on Ross. Ross is trying to move and groove and make sure you don't get clipped. But if you do that, you're going to leave your teammate Cinco out here with Arya Stark. You don't want Arya to catch too much damage, but what a chase The wall that was created to get that KO and then comes over for the assisted KO. What a play. And now we have a tied game. Everyone's damage is pretty much tied too.
Yeah, just because we have a tie game, it means that the game has only begun. It's really going to be the second half of the game here that's going to be the main difference. It's going to be the determination to see how things will go. And so far, Moonlit Knight's been doing a really good job so far at keeping Ross from being over with Cinco to try to help him out. But now they're going to reset neutral here, trying to find an opening. Going to be able to do it on Oops tier. Trying to make it back onto stage, of course, but Moonlit Knight's trying to keep this stage in their favor. Oh, yes, and they're going to get it!
What
one
a
more to go.
situation.
They just got to figure out a way.
Disgusting.
Oh, man, they just got to figure out a way now.
And during grab animation, you got power punched? Oh, my gosh. Defeat. And the closeout, Moonlit Knights getting on the board. I mean, I don't care how close that looked. That was a dominant performance.
That was extremely dominant coming in from Moonlit Knights. I mean, a complete different, like a 180 from the first game. Entirely different. I mean, we saw Broskies and Oops Cheer. They basically downloaded Team Aegon by AOC Game 1. They took out their competing brand monitor and said, all right, let's do this, and went right on and did that. I mean, we're going to have to see if Aegon by AOC is going to be able to come up with a good counterplay against that. It's all about the stage control for Moonlit Knights. They want to keep the red team separated as much as possible because Arya Stark in particular, she really, really relies on being alongside her teammate to take out the opponents. She's always supposed to be a closer or a combo starter and not really anything in between for the most part when it comes to doubles play. So the fact that they were not able to get that on Moonlit Knights, it goes to show you just how detrimental the character can be at times, especially because she's one of the lightest in the game.
Yeah, I mean, it's super light, but when you're making plays like Cinco was making, it's okay, right? Like, you end up losing that game, but Cinco was really got to it and made sure that it was tied for a moment. It was dominance from Oopsie Tier and Broski's from there. Like, after he got those two stocks off and it was a very even game, Team Moonlit Knights just took over, was controlling everything. Now, I didn't get to speak on it whenever the highlight was happening, but that highlight where we saw Oopsie Tier down there charging the armored up heavy and was waiting for somebody to come down there and then was like, you know what? Canceled, and he canceled and came up and up aired. Oh my gosh. That was such a clean KO. The recognition, he's holding it, so he made Cinco fade over to the left, and then he canceled. Hold on, where's my hands at? Can you see? Never mind, it doesn't matter. I was going to show how
we ain't going to see him.
We're going into game number 3. This is the deciding match. Team Aegon by ALC versus Moonlit Knights. Moonlit Knights with the momentum coming into this one. And I want to see how this ends, man. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah, hands are definitely going to be thrown for sure into this game. And so far, it's been relatively even between both teams, which is a good thing, of course. But as of right now, really, we're looking for Oops Chair to get some sort of offstage offstage oppression here on either of the red team here to really get an advantage going for blue team. But so far, they haven't been able to get anything too much yet, but they could possibly here if they're able to get rid of Ross, and they are able to.
My gosh. Cinco with a nice knife play to get back onto the stage, but my goodness, that shows that the momentum is still here from Team Moonlit Knights. That way, the way they controlled that side of the stage, ended up getting one stock, and it looks like it's going to be a while before we see one taken. Never mind, are you kidding me? Up special into up special. Both players landing a clean one. Oh my gosh. I thought Ross was toast. He got caught by the grab into the wall. Wow! I can't even keep up with what's going on. I'm trying to talk about the plays, but everybody is making high-octane plays. Key moments are happening back to back to back. And the red team, Team Aegon by LC with the lead right now.
Bro, both of these teams right now are like egg beaters because they are beating the living crap out of each other as blue team is able to unfortunately lose that game. I was going to say they were going to be able to make it back, but it looks like that was not going to happen as Team Aegon by AOC was able to make it to the top there, taking out Moonlit Knights in a very close Game 3. In all sense of the word. They might have been 2 stocks behind, but that was extremely close because they were both going at it so well against each other.
That was amazing. That was amazing. I mean, like, it started off and I'm like, yeah, the momentum's still here for Team Moonlit Knights, and then Aegon by AOC, the way that they took control of that closeout was crazy. They ran those last 4 stocks just back to back. Look at this. I love the situation, right? You see the knife throw. Oh, we were going to see the way that Cinco got back on the stage, but he was able to get back on. That was clean. Out here on the side, you know, we got a little bit of a situation here. And this is going to be, I think this is the team combo.
Yeah,
boom,
this
boom,
is the play.
Bam, bam, yep, snatch. Yes, sir.
Exactly, extending that combo. I said it before that Arya Stark is a combo starter and finisher, but I mean, Cinco kind of made me wrong a little bit by extending the combo, not really finishing it there at that moment, but right there, yeah, it was a combination of just covering every single aspect of like recovery, up from above the stage, even from towards the ledge. They just did not have many options to go with against Ross and Cinco here. I mean, you said it before that it was not going to be easy for Ross and Cinco going into this set, but they proved us wrong.
Man, that final, I like the counter. Like, I don't think I've ever seen like Ross and Cinco go Superman Arya. That was clean. Like, I mean, I don't know if that was just a counter pick for them or if that's just what they're doing at this current moment in time, but that was clean. But that KO at the end, like, I didn't even notice that when it really happened, like in real time. That was so clean. Ross went out there, was out there on the side, and just hovering around. No, it was Cinco. Cinco was out there hovering around, sees his teammate start to get carried out. He goes, okay, hold on. Throws the knife on, allows his teammate to get KO, throws the knife on to Oopstier, and then goes, okay, you got the KO, and here I come. And he came over and hit a nice 2-piece combo and KO'd Oopstier for the game. That was clean. Nice recognition. Okay, use your resources. I'm going to let you get this one off and then just finish it. A1 steak sauce.
Yeah, that happened so quickly, man. That was like Amazon Prime delivery with how quick that was. And honestly, great stuff coming in from Team Aegon by AOC. They are going to be fighting against Team World's Greatest Detective going into Winners Round 2. But we're going to be getting into our next set here, which I believe is going to be Team State Fair versus Moonlit Knights in the loser side, if I'm correct.
Okay. All right. We're going to see. You know, actually, y'all have the production. Y'all got the bracket for us? Slap that bad boy up, or are we just going to jump into the game? Because I wanted to take a look at it and see what we got lined up, because that was beautiful. That was good stuff. Yep, we got another game lined up. So bracket's not coming up. But, no, it's been good so far, man. I like what
well, you know what? That's really quick. Shout outs to Team ESA for making this such a quick process for everyone. Seriously. I mean, it's not easy getting all the teams to set up lobbies, get everybody going in, get the spectator in, and ESA has been doing a fantastic job at just going very quick and smooth with it.
Oh, I agree. The way they run this game is clean. Like, it's rough to do all that stuff on your own. I mean, I've tried it.
Same here.
It's not the smoothest process, but they're definitely doing a great job of it. So, but yeah. So we got Aegon by AOC, Ross and Cinco. Gonna move over in that first one. Apache and Shiro, if I'm not mistaken, going up against Shirogane, going up against Team State Fair, Meth and Clueless. Wait, Meth and Clueless fought the.
No, Apache and Shirogane fought Team Mike and Ike in losers.
Okay, got it. So I'm looking at the bracket, and I feel like my bracket's messed up. It's all good. Don't worry about it.
We ain't going to ask.
Don't even worry about it, man.
But yeah, Team State Fair versus Moonlit Knights. This is not an easy one to decide, in all honesty. Oh, okay. So actually, it's going to be Team Vitamin Water and Team Inside Out. Okay, that's actually different.
Inside Out. Give me some intel here. What does that mean?
Team Inside Out is Dante and Inside Out.
Inside Out. Okay, got it. Okay, all right. I see it.
They're getting some dinner and it's
creative.
inside. Oh, and the early KO coming in from Costlix and Mirror Man gonna take it out on Inside Out. And honestly, like, this is, I'm so surprised to see the Bugs Bunny from Mirror Man, because it's been a while since we've seen the Bugs Bunny. He's been using a lot of Batman lately, so I'm really excited to see it once again. I mean, he's been so well known for the Bugs Bunny. So always love to see it, of course. But so far, it's been really heavily favored for Team Vitamin Water here so far. But that does not mean that Team Inside Out doesn't have an opportunity here, because they're going to be able to get their first KO of the set.
Yeah, got that one out of there. Inside Out, they got a lot of damage on them, but, you have Iron Giant, and Iron Giant's got the homie in the cockpit of the ride, you know what I mean? So they're able to play some defense. They know what kind of situation they're in, so they'll be able to pick up the pace. Nice. They got a team combo going on over here, racking up some damage on to Costlix. That was a nice play, but Mirror Man's over here to party now.
Yes, and now that the blue team really has the stage in their control here, it's not going to be easy for red team to be able to make it back on a stage. They've been having a lot of trouble here with stage control, and blue team has just been eating that up so well, because Bugs Bunny and Velma are all about stage control. So the moment you give it to them is when you're in an extremely bad disadvantage state. However, Inside Out going to have 2 sets of bolts in play, going to be able to make it back on the stage and to regain the stage control against Mirror Man. However, how long will that last with 162 on the plate?
Dante was doing a great job. Actually, both of them were doing a great job in their respective 1v1s right there, racking up some damage. So they kept the game pretty close for a moment. Nice. And Costlix and Mirror Man going to be able to get that KO and take a lead again. But nice, right back at him. See, like, so they created those 1v1s, racked up very good damage, and now a lead by the red team. Dante sitting at 131 damage. He's going to be able to get KO'd, but I think right now you just go bonkers. You just keep pushing, put on as much damage as you can. Gonna get dunked early, but at least he was trying to apply pressure. And even game. Now, you put yourself in a situation to win. 113, man. I'm scared. The Iron Giant's been getting hounded whenever he's at this type of damage. Mirror Man is no stranger to fighting this character. So you really got to make something shake, play some good defense, and bring it together as a team to close this one out.
Yeah, but you got Rage on right now, so that adds a lot of projectiles onto the stage for the red team's advantage, like that orb that keeps you locked in there if you're caught in it, and that gives Iron Giant a lot of potential for some damage and even some potential knockback to boot. Right now, it's literally anybody's game. If Dante is able to get a quick hit on either one of blue team in the air, they will take this game. But that's not going to be easy, because Bugs Bunny and Velma are able to get out of things pretty quickly. Oh, this is extremely close. It's a game of needles at this point. Oh my goodness, what's going to happen?
Oh my gosh! Mirror Man came down there and landed the dare. That was scary, because when he went down there, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if he was going to get reversed. I didn't know if he was going to just whiff and then have to deal with both players. But we got the 4 KOs and the 410 damage to show that he wasn't missing when he went for something. So, I mean, what a game. These guys, both teams brought everything they had into that first one. And I think that Mirror Man and Cosmos were just going to play it slow and play their own pace and just do what they do. But they really had to dig deep in their bag to close that one out. What a game.
I mean, exactly. That was such a good first game. It was, I mean, you would think that this is the best team currently in Esports Arena Series E Season 1 for MultiVersus. Team Vitamin Water has been extremely dominant this entire season, and even preseason, before they got sponsored by Vitamin Water, they were extremely dominant. But right now, the case is starting to turn a little bit. It's Inside Out. they really put on a show there. Even though they didn't win it, they were extremely close to doing it. So it's really impressive for them so far. Now it's all about the game 2. Are they going to be able to get that final KO? Are they going to be able to bring that close first game and really put it more into their favor? Or will Team Vitamin Water get the idea of like, this is what we need to do to counter them and throw it all away?
That's the scary part, because with this team, when I do see them lose, they generally lose first game. If you beat them, you don't, especially whenever it's before the best of 3. Before the best of 5. When it's best of 3, you generally, when I see them lose, they lose the first one. You had the opportunity. You did that amazing first game where like if I see them fall right there, I'm like, okay, this team can get them. I don't normally see them lose. If they clutch this one out, the next one they come out even better. So you're about to deal with the stronger version of the team that you just lost to. I don't know.
It could go either way, honestly. And going into this next game, we're going on Trophy's Edge, a little more of a balanced stage for both teams. However, this is actually a really good stage, I believe, for Iron Giant and Superman, because Superman's going to be able to get his up throw kills a little earlier than on somewhere like Sky Arena, and Iron Giant's going to be able to get his a little bit of shenanigans off sooner in terms of like up special helicopter and the up air kills. So that's going to be very important for them here. And we're going to see 3 stacks of bolts go on Iron Giant right now. So that's a pretty advantageous considering they are both at relatively high percent. If he's able to get those kills like that first one, it's going to put him in a good spot.
The whole setup on that, right? Like, he had got sent up in the air. He called the bolt and then came down. He was like, okay, they're both over by my teammate. He came down with the butt bomb, man. That was such a genius play by him to even put them in the situation where he could have potentially KO'd both. He did it again. He called the bolt and he fell down on both players. Now, Mirror Man, I honestly don't know how he survived that, but he's still alive. Bugs Bunny at 143. He ran into the rocket and didn't get full glide off of his up special, and he's going to get KO'd, and now, there we go. There's the KO right there. And, man, I feel like Inside Out would have still been alive if he didn't bump his head into that rocket. I know I know Cosmix was coming out to hit him with the dare, but he could have faded over to the side of him and just went and tried to see maybe if I hit him, maybe he doesn't land this perfectly and I can hit him with the helicopter.
Oh, that amazing play from Dante as he's going to be able to get themselves into the game point here. Oh, it's all going against Mirror Man here now. They're just trying to dogpile on Mirror Man, trying to get rid of him as soon as possible. They really do not want Vitamin Water to be put into game point as well. That would be very bad for them because right now, Dante 99% compared with Inside Out, who is currently at 91. So you really don't want to be put into game point against Mirror Man and Cosmix, and they will not as they get that second game.
That was good. That was good. I mean,
they made it better.
Game point. I mean, if they would have lost, that was it.
Bugs.
You know what I mean? This is already game point. So now it's both teams on game point, 1-1.
They made it better, man. They made it so much better compared to that first game. They made it extremely close to that first game, but they just really took advantage of each of their toolkits and really ran with it, man. That was some great stuff, of course. Hopefully we'll get to see some replays here of all the kills that happened. Yes, we are. First of all, the multiple stacks of bolts, really advantageous here for Inside Out because that meant that he could have butt slammed there with no opposition. With one nuts and bolts, it's totally fine, but he could have got hit by like a multi-hit move and would have been put out of it. But having that multi-stack, it really just let him do whatever he want without any opposition. And that really just put them in the position that they were able to keep that advantage going through the entire rest of the game.
Yep, that was so clean. So clean. And look, see, he ran right there. I mean, I get it. He saw Cosmix coming over, but the fade over to the side, man, he just couldn't do anything about that. But that uppercut coming back into the game, tying that bad boy up. And from here on is where we start to see the dominance, right? Like, I think this is, at this point, Mirror Man and Cosmix just kind of suffered their way through the rest of the match. They were trying to make plays, but they just could not get anything going. Goes up, Snatch and Rooney, 54%. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you're at 13. I'm getting that KO. Superman, Dante coming up there and getting a nice one.
Yeah, and they just did such a great job at just taking Mirrorman and Kostelix away from each other, really. It was just separating them out that gave them that advantageous position to take that second game. But here we go, game number 3. I don't think we've had any 2-0 yet so far, and we're going to continue that here on a Sky Arena with no platforms.
All right, here we go. Let's get into this bad boy. Nice little combo coming in from Mirrorman. He's racked up some good damage onto Inside Out, and I think that's the target. He said, you know what, I'm just going to pressure the mess out of Inside Out, keep the projectiles coming, Kostelix, and we'll get this KO. He put the tunnel down, but he put them right by each other, so I want to see how that's going to play out for them, or if he just messed up.
It could be a combination of the two, but really what I like about Tunnel, even if you put it close to each other, is that you can use it for safe. You can use it for Rocket to where it'll just keep the middle of the stage a little difficult to get to. Because the safe in particular does have a lot of gravity with it, so it's able to move up and down relatively quicker than you would normally think it would.
Mirrorman's ridiculous. He went out there, landed a side air, and then he went for a dare instantly afterwards. So he just did a 2-hit combo on 2 separate players, got the KOs. He ends up getting served on the right side of the stage, but who cares, right? He did what he was supposed to do. Now he's back fresh on a fresh stock. He only got a little bit of damage on him. Team help. He was starting to eat a little bit of damage coming out from Dante, but Kostelix is always there to help.
Yeah, and look at this. They can't really approach Rage Mode for that time being, especially because of that orb. Once again, the moment they get caught in that orb, they are stuck in it. They cannot get out without mashing a crazy amount. And so far, it's been really helping them out as well, that Mirrorman and Kostelix have been having a hard time finding an answer to just approach Inside Out, which you would normally think would not be hard to do because, Iron Giant is freaking big, but no, they've been having trouble trying to get in and get this KO, but they were finally able to get it, and that gave Mirrorman a little bit of attack decay, but it doesn't matter!
I need that replay!
That was a game of chicken.
Great play from both players.
That was a game of chicken at the end there. It was like, you gonna die first, or am I gonna die first?
That's exactly what it was. So Mirrorman went over there and he goes, I'm just gonna hold a wall and I'm gonna keep doing down there because initially he went out and he was gonna try to get the KO. Well, okay, so we'll wait till we get there. I'm gonna talk about it. But all right, this situation right here. Look at this. Boom. All right, and he's gonna come back over, down air, the safe hit. So that's how he got that one. He whipped the side air and then landed the down air onto Inside Out. And now over here, he's getting comboed up and fighting his way back onto the stage, but there's the help from Dante to get the stock off from Mirrorman, but they were already up 2 at that point. Okay? Now, the patented play of call the bolts and then fall down doesn't quite work because he didn't call the bolts. He tried to do the butt bomb. What are you doing, my boy? It's not going to work out for you. You got the KO. Now, he's trying to use the up airs to survive. But Mirrorman goes, hold on, bro, if I just stay right on you, I saw what you were trying to do. You're trying to stall me out, but you don't have any other resources. He just keeps throwing down air. Down there. You can't get back, and if he dies, who cares, right? It's not going to beat the game. So he wasn't even scared. If he died first, it didn't even matter. He just had to create a wall to make sure that Dante couldn't get back on the stage, and it was just genius. Perfect play, perfect way to close it out. What a game by Team Vitamin Water. But, I love what we've seen so far, man. I hope you're having fun, Tailwinds. But, Yeso, talk to us about what you've seen, how you feel.
I've seen some great sets so far. I'm in the same spot as you, Zip, and things are setting up really nicely for the back half of this bracket. Of course, we'll have our other winners bracket semifinal on the other side of this break, but the first one was great. Let's jump back, though, to winners round 1. Couple of sets we didn't see on stream, but they, of course, produced the 2 competitors in that set we just watched. Was Vitamin Water up against Mike and Ike, 2-0 for them. This is Vitamin Water getting back to what has been working for them, those strong early round victories, dominant early on, building that early momentum. and they take care of Mike and Ike in that set. The other side was Inside Out up against Shambo, which is Apache's combo here today, and another 2-0 there. So both of those duos taking really dominant starts here to the day. And then, of course, we get the full 3 games between those two in their winners semifinal. And Inside Out, that one's going to sting a little bit, but hey, this is Vitamin Water kind of firing on all cylinders right now. They're going to be tough to beat, but Inside Out will be hopefully, in their mind, playing to try and get that rematch to get some redemption later on in the bracket. So we'll keep an eye on their run. Then you jump down to the other side of this winners round 1. You get World's Greatest Detective and State Fair, and State Fair coming out really strong early on in this set. And I was watching it and worrying like, oh wow, are we going to see World's Greatest Detective going out in winners round 1? That's something I don't think we've seen yet this season. I don't think they've lost a winners round set to date, but they took care of that set in the back half. Forced game 3, really strong finish, and we'll be watching them here very soon. The other matchup that gave us the opponent for World's Greatest Detective was Aegon by AOC up against Moonlit Knights, and that's another squad that we really do not see going down to losers bracket this early on. But Aegon take it in a very tight set. It goes the distance all the way to game 3, but Aegon by AOC takes the 2-1 win, and that is huge because State Fair and Mike and Ike, neither of them making it through that winners round 1. So Aegon by AOC, the other Series E representative there, jumping into winners semifinals. They'll have a very tough set up against World's Greatest Detective, but that should certainly be a fun one. And Aegon's got to be feeling great after that win against Moonlit Knights because they have been so good all season long. Now down to losers real quick. Quick update on where we stand on that front. One set taken care of, waiting for the result of the other, but we may have it soon if I don't get it here before we go back to Zip and Tailwinds. We'll talk about it a little later, but Mike and Ike up against Shambo, that Apache pairing, and Mike and Ike take care of business, 2-0. So a fairly rare Apache 0-2 on the day. That is not something we see very often. Has been struggling here at times over the last month or so to kind of get those deep runs that the last time we saw them, they were honestly playing very well. But this is uncharacteristic for the duo, and they are done here for the day. The other set down there in losers round 1 is State Fair up against Moonlit Knights, and that is, that's State Fair with 2 very hard matchups to start their bracket, and they're going to have to really pull out a strong set here if they don't want to go 0-2. And of course, the winner of that one will be up against Inside Out in their next set on the loser side of the bracket. We've got World's Greatest Detective and Team Aegon by AOC on deck. It's our other winner semifinal, and Zip and Tailwinds have all the action for you right now.
Man, we've seen some good stuff so far, and it's going to be even better going into the rest of these. I'm so excited to see what these next teams have to bring to the table, because it's been a slugfest so far. Like, these teams, I see a lot of game plans being formed in the previous Series, right? This time I feel like everyone's just going in and going bang, 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 going head to head, smashing faces against each other. And this one, I don't know. I'm liking every single set, to the fullest extent.
Yeah, these teams are out for blood now, and it makes a lot of sense. The season is almost over. So they want to get to the top of the tournament board, so that way they get as many points as possible. It gets the closer we get to the end of season 1, the more desperate teams will get to make it to that top echelon of these tournaments, to rank up as much as possible and get those sponsorships that they so desperately want/need. So I'm not too surprised that we're seeing the amount of wild action we've been seeing. It's like the Wild West, man. I didn't think it was going to be this hot when it's almost spring, but here we are.
Man, these tournaments are always great. Don't get me wrong. They're always, I feel like everyone's always scrapping to their best ability, but they're more formulated in the game plan as well. I was getting at. But you're right. It gets closer to the end, and guys are like, we got to get you guys out of here. We need to knock you out of this thing so we can get these points, because we want the sponsorship. I feel you on that one. So you're 100% correct. I'm just ready to see some more action, man. I just want to see what these guys have coming up in the rest of this bracket, man. It's been so good so far. Team Vitamin Water doing their thing, man, and it's just going to be even better going on for the rest of this thing.
Yeah, and we're going to have to see who's going to be fighting against Team Vitamin Water in the semifinals, with Team World's Greatest Detective and Team Aegon by AOC fighting against each other here at Sky Arena with platforms for the first game. We've got the Wonder Woman Batman from Legendary Pred and K7. Now, the last set that we commentated over them, they didn't do as well with this team, and they swapped back to the Batman Velma comp. I'm looking to see if they're able to change that here. It's a really good combination against Arya Stark and Superman in particular, because Wonder Woman can apply so much shields to herself and her teammate that they are really just able to counter against Cinco's ability to finish off combos.
I mean, we're talking about the top-notch teams here. They're always finishing off combos. What a dodge from K7 and Legendary to get out of that situation. One of them were guaranteed going to fall, it looked like to me. But the turnaround KO on the side of the stage, landing a dare, closing that first stock out. What a play.
But they are going to get a second KO on their board as well, as they're going to continue the beatdown here, as they're going to, they were just barely going to get that KO, but somehow, out of some way, K7 was going to be able to make it back on the stage there. Now, Red Team really trying to get this stage into their side of the field to really try to get some stocks on the board, because right now they haven't been able to get anything off so far.
Ross and Cinco holding it down, man, and finally, Legendary Pred and K7 finally able to get one stock, man. Like, they've been trying and they've been putting on damage. They had situations where it looked like it was over. Are you kidding me? The Batarang just comes through floating around and taps him and gets that KO. If there was any way I saw that stock going, it wasn't like that, but I definitely could see any time the up air coming out from Ross and that Superman taking a stock. There goes one, but a team combo was almost looking good. They had the Batarang ready to detonate, sitting on Ross, and they tried to get him out of there as soon as he came back. As soon as you respawn, as soon as we'll get you out of here.
You're right about that, and so far, they've been doing great work at it, but every single time that Batarang just gets in the way of Ross's game plan. It took him out a stock earlier, and it kept him away from the Red Team a little bit there. So it's been really putting in some work here. And right now, Red Team trying to get neutral back into their favor here by setting up with the smoke bomb. I like that they were using that a little bit here, but they're trying so hard to get this KO on Ross, but nothing has been working. As a tank, he's not going to take as much knockback as you would like.
He's trying to use that armor to his advantage right now, not really able to get the hits off, and when he gets hit, he's going flying. But he's also not going flying far enough to get KO'd. He's at 184, but K7, the recognition, landing the uppercut, taking out that stock. Now we have a tied game. There's big damage on both players of the Red Team, and the game will be taken by Team Aegon by AOC. Ross and Cinco. I was going to say Cinco's in danger, but it didn't matter. You know, when you got the Ross playing the way Ross is playing, let's check these stats out. 319 with 3 KOs. Yeah, you're going to have a rough time. It's going to be hard for you to get the dub if you're going to allow him to do what he's doing. He's living so long on these stocks that, I mean, it doesn't matter how good you're playing if you can't just close him out. Like, he's getting you out of there. It doesn't matter what percentage he's at. He's got the gas, his foot on the gas, and he's making sure he's on top.
Yeah.
It's going to be a rough time.
Yeah, and that's the problem of dealing with Superman. If you let him go, if you let him do what he wants, he's going to mess with you really hard. He's going to punish you for not going after him. He's the Man of Steel for a reason, and you have to get him away from the teammate, and most importantly, you have to catch him off guard so many times. So it can be a challenge to deal with Superman if you don't know the right way of doing it, and unfortunately, K7 and Legendary Pred were not able to get it going fast enough in that first game to be able to take it here. And here we go with this kill upcoming. And I love the Batarang applying that stack of weaken there. It racks up more percent, and not only that, but it applies more stacks of weaken the more you get hit, but it didn't help them out there. But in this case, it really does help them out because now 173, no matter what you do, you're going to get KO'd by it.
Yep. Look at this. Hold on. This is the KO. That boy with the chase. He was getting pressured. K7 was getting pressured, and he turned that into a turnaround KO. That was so nice. And this is the close of the game. He just gets hit by a side air. He can't do anything about it. He used all of his resources up. The drift was so real. You could even see the way Batman was flying. He was floating like, I can't believe this is the end. I cannot believe this is how it all ends for me.
Yeah, he was like, this is me. Now you're probably wondering how I got into this situation. Well, it all started. At the beginning of Game 1, as we now move into Game 2 this time around. Once again, on Sky Arena with no platforms. This is a very good stage, really, for both teams, so I'm not surprised to see that they just counterpick back to this stage here. But the smoke bomb is going to be really helpful for nobody, as they're going to take us first stock loss there this early into the game.
That was such a serious sequence right there, man. Ross is so ready with those up airs. He's been capitalizing and making sure his team is getting this dub. He's put the team on his back. So trying to get into that winners finals, I like what I'm seeing by Team Aegon by ALC, but I mean K7 and Legendary Pred, World's Greatest Detectives, they can do this. But they've got to get timely KOs. I preach about this all the time when it comes to platform fighting games. You have got to make sure that once you rack that damage up, it doesn't matter how good your neutral is if you're not landing that final hit. You can keep peppering somebody up as much as you want towards the end of their stock, but if you're not landing that final blow, it doesn't matter. Finally, landing the one that matters and getting a stock off of Ross, but you have allowed a fresh stock Ross to come back. It probably would have been a better look to get Cinco out of there first. Now, I mean, you'll take whatever you can get, but now you're getting in here and you're both super hurt. There it is. You get the uppercut. It's going to be a rough comeback, man. It's going to be a rough comeback because even with that stock lead, look at how hurt they are. It's going to turn into 3-2 really fast.
Yeah, but exactly like you say it there is that they're both at extremely high percent. Red team, they have to really play on their A game here to keep the blue team from really being able to rack any potential KO here. Because the moment they get a KO on both the red team, that puts them in a heavy advantage state, as we're going to see one KO on the blue team side. Going to be able to get the game back to a tied situation here. But right now, blue team has been doing a really good job walling off the red team from being able to approach very much. I'm going to try to take advantage of a smoke bomb here to really put them at an edge potentially, but we're not seeing anything too much from it yet, as right now Ross is trying so hard to get this KO on K7 show off.
He's trying, but K7 playing out of his mind. Look at how much damage he got on the Ross, right? I want to give kudos for that. He did so much damage. Now, this is definitely the blue team's game to win. World's Greatest Detective. If they can find that KO on the Ross, they have 92 already on the Cinco. This is the closeout. You've got to find your moment, and it's all owed to the fact that K7 lived into 160 on the Batman. Batman is not supposed to stay alive that long. Now, if you just keep Ross from getting combos onto Legendary Pred, and you find the moment, the one moment, it's only going to take 1 to 2 hits, and you get Cinco out of there, that'll be game.
Yeah, this is an extremely hard situation to deal with right now as well, because basically Cinco has to play out of his mind right now, because 122, lightest character in the game, you have to pray to whoever god you pray to that you survive this. But unfortunately, Legendary Pred and K7 Show Off are gonna be able to get the kill on Ross instead of Cinco. They just didn't care about him. They were like, you know what, we're just gonna go after your teammate. If you're not gonna come and help your teammate out, we're gonna take care of your teammate.
Which is a very, very smart game plan. A very, very smart game plan. Okay, so the thought process behind that, for everybody out there watching, the thought process behind that is you are one of the lightest characters in the game as Arya Stark. You're too scared to even approach us. So if you come close, I will hit you. But if you do not, we're going to continue to keep jumping Ross. Now, yes, you're thinking, okay, Ross, as Ross, I should come over there and help. Yeah, but if you come over there and help and just get caught by a slick uppercut, just a raw uppercut from K7, you probably die. So you can't come over and do anything about it. So the red team knows, K7 and Legendary Pred know, let's just keep jumping Ross, keep jumping Ross. If you see Cinco come over, hit him. Just back him off. You don't even have to KO him. Don't even go for a KO blow. Just tap him and get him out of the picture so we can keep jumping Ross. And that's what they did to close that game out. They didn't, like you said, they paid no attention to Cinco at high damage because they know Ross is the one that if you keep trying that, he's Superman. You keep trying to pressure Cinco, he comes over and he catches you slipping, you might lose your stock at 50, right? So they wanted to make sure they nullified the more dangerous target, which was very, very smart from K7 and Legendary Pred.
And they knew in that situation as well, Zip, that really it was Ross that was their biggest threat going into that last stock there. They knew that one small hit could take Ross out easily. So they really just didn't need to mind, because it was all up to Ross to really get the KO, because what could Cinco do? Go in and get a kill? That's putting himself in big danger there potentially. And so they were just like, we're going to take advantage of that. We're going to take advantage for the fact that your biggest threat right now is the Superman and the fact that you can't do anything about it. And they showed us that.
100%. Beautiful, beautiful gameplay. And here we go. We're going to go into the final game. It's 1-1 on the board. The world's greatest detectives got on there, and whoever wins this is going into winners finals. So this is the big one. We saw great decision-making and a great game plan from World's Greatest Detectives to close that one out, but this stage, man, it's going to be rough. You got Superman running around, you got Arya Stark, and you're a very light character as K7, so if you get caught in a bad situation, even though this is your hometown, Batman at the Batcave, you may get KO'd super fast. There was a lot of danger on the right side of the stage for both teams, but up throw coming out from Ross, tried to get something going on the Legendary Pred. Not enough damage for it to matter. Here we go, neutral's back in action.
Yeah, and this is one of those kind of stages where anything can happen without anyone knowing as well. Because the blast zones are so close, especially from the ceiling, that like an up throw from Ross could kill at like 50. And an up special from K7 can kill much earlier than expected as well. So it's really volatile of a stage, and my goodness, K7 wasn't able to get the kill off the side as well because of the attack decay. So he's got to think of what kind of move he wants to use to get the kill off, and he's going to be able to do it without special there, but now he's got to figure a way to get back.
Legendary Pred, he was trying to touch the wall, and it kind of looked like he did, but he fainted right before he got his resources back, and that led to a KO. So, I mean, it's a tight game. But man, if you just kept surviving and didn't give him that point, because you have K7 at 133. But we did see last game K7 just holding on that stock, living for a very long time. Very good offensive defense, but ended up getting bounced off the ground, lose that one. Now you're at a deficit. You got 1-on-1 sitting on Cinco. The option could be to KO him, or you go for the same thing you did last game and focus on Ross, because you know that Cinco can't really get into the mix like that, and I think that they're doing exactly that. Oh, he missed the down special. He didn't get the kick. He had it.
Oh my gosh, that was so close. I thought they honestly had it. It was about to be a FIFA World Cup moment with how great of a kick that would have been. But unfortunately, we weren't able to get it there. That's okay. Both the blue team right now, they are at over 120%. But as I say that, Cinco going to lose his stock there. So it really doesn't matter that they weren't able to get that earlier kill, because they have them where they want them right now. They have the stage advantage. And Team Aegon, they have a little bit of trouble trying to get this all taken care of. But they're going to be able to get that stock off there. Oh, this is great. They're both at even level right now. Really, Legendary Pred is going to be the only one here at the moment that's going to need to worry, because they are at the highest amount of percent. But even then, it's so close between both teams that it doesn't really matter. It's all up to K7 to get that kill, and he's going to be able to do it.
Stop the madness. Cut it out.
Not even you.
K7 said, "This is the Batcave. I'm Batman. You really gonna walk straight past Alfred and come into my house and think you're going to winners finals? Nah, G. This is where I put down the work." And you know, what villain has even made it that far and made it into the Batcave? Very, very few. I could count on one hand. And if you make it into the Batcave, you're definitely not coming out alive. Well, Batman doesn't kill. So you're not going to come out alive, but you're not going to come out with the win. You might win the battle, but you're not going to win the war. K7, what a play, what a set. I mean, Legendary Pred, you did your thing, but K7 was the show stopper. He's the show off, but he was the showstopper that time.
Honestly, I have to give a massive shout out to Legendary Pred because he was using Wonder Woman extremely well there. The moments that really stood out to me was every time Legendary Pred was able to get shields on K7, it gave him the opportunity to be able to get those kills that he needed to get and really just be able to tank some dire moments that they needed to tank. And that just goes to show you, even with a tank character that's able to play very well and dominantly like Wonder Woman, Legendary Pred is still going to play that supportive role that he is so well known for.
I'm loving it, man. I'm actually tweeting at him right now. I'm tweeting at him right now. All I'm saying is, K7, you're absolutely ridiculous. And there it is. That man, like I said, Pred was going in, and Pred was making very good support plays, but that's exactly what they were. They were support plays, making sure that K7 could do what K7 does. K7 was on keysters, on bumpers. He was pulling up, and if you were in KO territory, this is what I brought up early in the set. If you can rack the damage up, it doesn't matter if you're not able to find the decisive KO blow. And he fixed that, and that's what allowed them to run that set back. Beautiful, beautiful stuff.
Yeah, and going through those replays too, I could definitely see why Legendary Pred decided the secondary Wonder Woman. He was putting the blue team at terrible points for them to be able to try to get out of situations. And just really, like, playing a game of volleyball, really. Just, like, throwing up the opponent team up into the air and giving every opportunity for K7 to just go in and get that up special and take them out. And that's just some amazing, like, team synergy coming in from K7 and Legendary Pred, Team World's Greatest Detectives. I mean, there's a reason why they're one of my all-time favorite teams in MultiVersus, and they just never disappoint me.
Never at all. Never at all. Hopefully, here in the future, I get to see some offline stuff with these guys. I mean, been watching K7 for a long time. I've actually casted him in multiple games over the years. I don't know if he knows that. I'm pretty sure he does, but I never got to meet him. So I'm gonna go make sure I get to say what's good to him next event if I get to see some offline MultiVersus. But that dude is definitely. He's literally one of my favorite players in the FGC in general. He's so exciting to watch, like the way that he plays the game, plays fighting games. And Legendary Pred, it is just chef's kiss on top of the team, making sure to stay there with him and always make the right plays to allow K7 to do what K7 does. That team they got to stick together, and they'll keep winning together. And not to be biased, but I want to see them take one, man. I want to see what they can do in this one right here and see if they can get to the end and close it out. You know what I mean? You get to winners finals, they're going to have to go up against Vitamin Water, so that's going to be the real test. You're going up against the guys, they've had a little bit of struggles here in Series E. They also had a week where Costlix was off, so it was Costlix was also, it was Mirror Man and I can't remember. Mirror Man was playing with somebody else. Costlix was doing something. And so you had a lost week. Then you go into a we're not even playing together week. And then I missed the last week in general, and now we're back at it again. I see them together. Let's see what they can do. So I mean, I'm a fan of them too. So I'm watching two teams that I love going to the winners finals. It's gonna be exciting. Cat's jumping in my lap. He wants to come party.
Of course. I'm so excited to watch winners finals in particular because these two teams have had back and forth multiple times, but most of the time it's been Team Vitamin Water that has taken it over World's Greatest Detective. And so I'm wanting to see the one time that World's Greatest Detective is able to take it out. And one thing I will say in particular, even though we've been seeing a little bit more of the Wonder Woman coming in from Legendary Pred, they are really out here for blood. They really want this win. And I can definitely tell with that last set in particular, they are here to play and play very well. So I won't be too surprised, honestly, to see in this best of 5 set, by the way, if they are going to bring it to a Game 5 scenario, because they have the ability to do that against Vitamin Water.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like you were just talking about, the fact that this one is going to be the extended set. I think they've been getting, I mean, the 2 sets we've watched them in, they've gotten better as the set went on. So now you're going up against another team, Team Vitamin Water. They're also just like that. They figure out what you're trying to do. The first one can look really close, and I talked about earlier how when I watch them lose, they generally lose game 1. So, and they just get better and better because they figure out what you want to do. I feel like K7 and World's Greatest Detectives, they get better because they get more aggressive and their evasiveness and their combos get better. These guys get better because they get more meticulous about what you're trying to do to them. And there's the aggression coming out from World's Greatest Detectives. 1, 2, 3 in the up airs, and that's a KO onto Koslix, the guy that I call the best defensive player I've ever seen. And he's getting juggled again. He's running out of resources, finally makes it back down.
Oh man, it was about to be another early KO off the top from these two. Red team doing a fantastic job at really just keeping Mirrorman and Koslix separated, but how long will that last though, as they are able to basically reset neutral here, and now it's really up to the red team here to see if they can try to get the stage control back into their favor. But so far, Mirrorman and Koslix doing a great job at really just isolating them from being able to do so. And even though red team so far has a great advantage, blue team has just as much of an opportunity to bring it back to an equal state.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they can still do this. It's not like they're down very, very bad. We do have a lot of damage on the Mirror Man. So if he gets KO'd here, I will start to believe, okay, this is looking really rough. But if he can hold on to the stock and do his thing, the same way that we've been seeing K7 do, right? He's a light character, but he's been holding on to his stocks big time. Can't believe he's been surviving way longer than Legendary, which is crazy.
Oh, this could be it!
Oh, what a dodge from Koslix to survive. Can they bring it back? I don't know, man. This is rough.
This is definitely very rough. However, we could see it. Mirrorman and Koslix have definitely brought it back from the depths before, but the depths were too strong. The Whirlpool came in and swept them away from that first game, as World's Greatest Detective is going to take that first game swimmingly.
Ooh, mommy, look at the tsunami. The boys came through with a wave on them. A wave of pressure. Nah, that was beautiful. Beautiful game from them. I mean, I was trying to give a breakdown as the game kicked off about what needed to be done by both teams, and the pressure that K7 brought to the table, and the team pressure, the synergy from Legendary Pred, they closed them out, man. That was such a strong first game. And hold on, did I just see the safe was coming over towards? And I feel like I saw Legendary Pred pop armor and then hit it back towards them.
Yeah, that's definitely possible because, I mean, you pop the shields, it blocks and knockback and damage from the safe, and then you're able to hit it back, but it's not going to be as quick. It's going to be, like, very slow in comparison to when your teammate hits the save.
That was clean. That was clean. But, okay, so you got the KO right there, but now we look back at this one. Boom, right back at it. They didn't even have to cut to another replay. K7 got KO'd, came right back into the game, and just goes, I'm on that. Bink, bink, double uppercut. Got the KO, man. He was ready for action, never relaxing.
Yeah, this is just another day at work for K7 show off. I don't know why we're surprised, honestly.
I'm not. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised.
I mean, I'm not surprised
okay,
either.
let me say. I'm not surprised at his offense. I am surprised at the defense though. Like, he is living insanely long with this character.
Yeah, I mean, technically Batman is a bruiser, but you could technically consider him as an assassin as well. He's a very quick character. He's able to dodge and weave things really easily, and we've been seeing that a whole lot from K7. He's been going in and out when he needs to, and it's been very advantageous for him so far. But once again, we're gonna go on to the Sky Arena stage, and my man Banana Guard coming in for the charge.
The Banana Guard. That's hilarious. I watched Adventure Time religiously, and I can't remember the name of those characters, so the fact you knew that is great. But Now, we got K7 trying to make an approach on the right, but the pressure was so real from Mirrorman to keep him at bay, and he loses his teammate while not even being able to get what he wanted done on the right side of the stage with Mirrorman. But we have a lot of damage on him. 57 on Costlix. They can get something shaking here. If they can get one of them out of there, that'd be a good look. He's at 71. I don't know, man. This is going to be a battle. All right, there we go. We got one KO.
It definitely is going to be a battle, but I mean, we've seen it before. K7, oh my goodness. I'm going to pause what I was saying earlier there. I love how I saw K7 launch the smoke bomb into play, and then he like positioned himself, I think, with a grappling hook and just zoomed himself out of the smoke to approach super quickly from mid stage. That was so cool. I don't think I've really seen that very much at all.
Man, Costlix is the king of the turnaround dare. I mean, I'm rewinding a whole stock here, but Costlix is the king of the turnaround dare. But he tried it right there, and K7 dodged through him and then said, "What are you doing? I'm Batman." And he landed that dare on the top of that bob that Velma wears and got that KO. That was such a big moment, and now, I mean, they're in a rough situation. They don't have big damage on either one of them, and you're already at the situation where if either one of you guys end up getting put in a bad situation, or you get too much damage put on, you could potentially just be down 2-0 and have to force a reverse 3-0. Now, tied game, a lot of damage. Legendary Press survives. Okay.
So far, they've been able to turn this around, but will it all be in vain, or will they be able to get it? It's all down to whether or not Legendary Pred is able to make it back on the stage and help out K7, but unfortunately it's all for naught, as Team Vitamin Water is going to be able to clutch that one out, get that second game win, and not make it in the world's greatest detective's favor.
Legendary Pred just could not hold on. He was trying to hold on to that last stock, and he just kept slipping away. He just kept getting clipped. And you see Mirrorman go back over and make some pressure on the K7 and be like, oh, hold on, I didn't forget about you. Come back over to get another tap. And then after a while, it was just too much. One big one hits, you're done. You're Wonder Woman, but at 140, anybody gets hit by a side air, a pretty good strong side air, you're probably toast. You know, especially after you used a few of your resources, you're not making it back. Good game. We got 1-1 on the board. Let's get to these replays.
Yeah, and the first thing first, going into this stock right here, like, look at how many debuffs are on the Bugs Bunny, and he didn't die to that first hit. That just goes to show you how good Sky Arena is for surviving moments like that. It didn't end up being where he survived it even longer because he did get hit back up to the top of the stage, but that just shows how these blast zones on these stages mean so much. It might not be as much of a difference for some people, but it's a huge difference when it comes to these scenarios that are very percent specific.
Yeah, I mean, you saw over there at 98%, K7 was up there in the sky and got hit, but he still was able to survive. This is a different stage. He's KO'd, right? Like, so that it definitely matters for both teams. Both teams want to carry you over the top. You know, Bugs Bunny and K7 with the Batman. They want to take you up into the air. I mean, especially the red team. The red team probably lose this game because of the stage, because Wonder Woman has great air deniability, so she's going to be able to waste your resources in the air the way she can chase. And then K7 comes in stock, but a lot of survived stocks because they couldn't get that final hit and get the KO early like they would be able to do on another stage.
And that just, that goes to show, like, how, like, volatile counter picks can be. Those moments that bring such a close factor towards getting those kills, it's super important that you pick the right stages because it plays a part. It truly plays a part. And we saw it there. And really, it's also the team synergy as well. Both these teams, impressive stuff that they do together. So I'm really interested to see whether or not K7 and Legendary Pred do decide to go with the Batman Velma combo. I don't think they will in this next game because they still brought it really close and they won the first game with their current comp. So I don't think they have any reason to really change it up. But I'm interested to see this stage counter pick in particular, because we've played on that stage, I believe, twice now. And while they were able to take the first game, that second game, it just really went to show how, I mean, that counter pick does slowly favor more of Team Vitamin Water.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, over time, it definitely favored them. So, you know, we'll go into the next one. We'll see if Team World's Greatest Detectives will allow them to have that back. I mean, I'm going to look at probably not. You know what I mean? I feel like they'll force a change. But, I mean, but the question is, I don't know where they go. Like, K7 did in that one set make sure that the Batcave was secured and he closed out the game with his Batman. But I don't know if you want to go back there with a Mirror Man running around. You know what I'm saying? And they do not. They go right back.
I mean, it was still relatively close, and they won the first game anyways on this stage, so I'm not too surprised. And once again, they're going to stick with the Batman and Wonder Woman comp. It's been working, so I'm not too surprised that they stuck with it, like I said earlier. Oh, we might have seen an early kill going for Mirror Man and Cosmix. However, they were not able to get it going, unfortunately. Now, we could see it. Oh, my goodness. It's like every single time I see them start going with a ladder combo, but they don't finish it. It's just like one of those things where it's like you make something really good and you just end up like missing it out on the last moment. It's like at the end of an episode when they put a to be continued on an important part. It's like one of those moments, man. It's just like, I want more.
It's definitely always like one more, bro. Like this game feels so good when you're landing hits in succession. So you just want to keep on landing them. That's one of the reasons I personally like Wonder Woman. Just like the way the shield chase and be able to just deny and keep landing those combo hits in the air, it's so fun. And then you get K7 when you whiff your attack. He comes over and he lands the uppercut not once, but 2 times to give you a 2-point lead.
Nah, Legendary Pred was the one that got that second KO, actually. He came and followed the footsteps of his fellow compadre. Yeah! He was able to get it with a Wonder Woman up special. It's just as good, if not, in my opinion, potentially better than Batman's up special because it covers a lot more area. It doesn't have as much knockback, but it does cover a lot more area, so it just makes it easier to land. And they were able to take advantage of that to get that second KO. But even then, both teams are still relatively even, which is impressive to say the least, considering the last play we saw.
That was so scary. There was 2 rockets coming through, but Legendary was able to move and make sure he didn't get touched by either. Safe is going to clap, but the movement and the batarang is going to get K7 back on stage. Neutral is formed. These guys are scrapping back in the middle of the stage. Who is going to gain control? It looks like the blue team is going to hold it down. They have K7 over there, putting him in the mix, but his movement was too nice to get out of there.
Now we're just looking to see who's going to break their neutral first. And so far, blue team has been breaking neutral a little bit more in this game here. And it's been leading to a little bit of a disadvantage for them. But even then, like Cosmix has been doing, we haven't been talking as much about Cosmix here, but he is so amazing at applying DPS that you really don't even notice it, in all honesty. Because even though the stage control has been favoring K7 and Legendary Pred, that Cosmix has still been applying enough damage to keep it even between both sides regardless.
Well, Cosmix is a MultiVersus game I like to compare to like a role player NBA player. Like, right, he plays great defense and he makes sure he assists your point guy. So it's not like he's going to get the highlights. He's not going to be on the highlight reel or be the MVP, but he definitely is sneakily making sure you win the game. So I love what he's doing. He's doing a great job, but man, is K7 on top of him, making sure that they cannot jump Legendary Pred. But it's going to come a time when they have to figure out, how do they close this out? I know they need to, it looks like they want to focus on Mirror Man. Look, he got a couple of good hits. Going back over there, peppering up Cosmix a little bit. Where are you going? Uppercut's good. K7 closing out the last stock, and World's Greatest Detectives 2-1 against Team Vitamin Water.
That was so smart, actually. They were going after Mirror Man a good amount there, and basically they were passing him back and forth a little bit. You would get in one hit on K7's end, and then you would get another hit in on Legendary Preds, and they would sort of go back and forth with a couple hits between each other on Mirror Man, and really Kostlix especially, because like they were just trying to make sure that Kostlix wasn't able to apply more damage and give Mirror Man that opportunity for a KO. And so they were able to do that and get their final point for that game 3 victory. And now they are only one game away, Zipmaster Flags. They're only one game away from getting winner side of Grand Finals, and that's big stuff.
Man, you know you want to get that winner side Grand Finals, man. Like, generally, if you get that, you win. I know that there was like a MultiVersus curse or the reverse 6-0. You know, I get it. But in fighting games, if you get Grand Finals, you are dang near securing the dub. There's very few, you know, there's the beginning of MultiVersus, there's players like Sonic Fox, and each like respective fighting game kind of has like their guy that is better from the loser side and ends up running it back. But normally you win from Grand Finals. So that's where you want to be. They have one more game to go. They're still going up against Team Vitamin Water. Vitamin Water, you know, they're going to have to sit back right now and figure it out. And I think they're the best team at figuring out what a team's doing to them and capitalizing on these situations. But playing from behind is not their specialty. I told you, I generally see them lose if they lose game number 1. They didn't lose game number 1. They lost game number 2 and 3, correct?
They lost, let's see. So game number 1 went to K7 and Legendary Pride. Game 2 went to Mirror Man and Kostlix. And game 3 went to K7 and Legendary Pride.
All right, well, it fits my narrative. So they lost game number 1. It looks like they're in a little bit of a struggle fest because that third game, they could have won it, right? We never want to say that it was impossible, but it was in the hands of world greatest detectives the whole time. So we'll see going in this last one. Did they find the formula? Are they going to be able to bring it back? But what history tells me is I don't know, man. I don't believe it. So they're going to have to show me, and I'm here for it. If you want to show me, I'm all for you putting this into a game number 5. But world's greatest detectives, they definitely want to go into this Grand Finals. So we'll see if they're looking to close this bad boy out right now here at Series E.
Yeah, and in terms of what you were saying as well, in terms of the back and forth sort of thing going on, it technically is in World's Greatest Detective. If Team Vitamin Water are able to take this game, they have to really try to outplay their opponent with something new in order to take that final game victory. And so far, World's Greatest Detectives, they have the advantage of knowing, okay, that last game there, this is what Team Vitamin Water did. We'll just have to keep on doing that same thing. But if they change it up this next game, we know what they're going to do. We're going to try to take advantage of that last game.
Yeah, they're definitely on top of it. Wow, but woo! I cannot believe K7 lived from that. I mean, it was because he was so high up, but that was such a great dare coming out from Kostlix. He tried to get him, but it wasn't enough. He went so far down you couldn't even see him on the screen anymore. But just survived in that blast zone. Bounced down from the rocket. Legendary Fred still living. A lot of damage on the red team. World's Greatest Detectives are definitely at a deficit, but they are not getting that, what I've been talking about, Tailwinds, the decisive blows. If they can't find that big hit and they allow them to take one of their stocks first, this could be a wasted lead. Kostlix is out there on the side of the stage, get hit by the Batarang. Both of them fall before either one of the World's Greatest Detectives players. Team Vitamin Water gave up a huge lead.
They gave up a huge lead, Zip, but look at this. Both red team are at an extremely high percent. Anything can change, and it's definitely possible. I wouldn't be surprised to see it, and we're going to see the first one, and what did I tell you? What did I tell you? Things immediately changed, and now we're back to an even game, like nothing ever happened. And now, red team, they really want to throw out no pulse. They want to throw out all the stops to really get 2 last stocks in. They are 2 stocks away from getting winner side of Grand Finals. And like you said before the game started, that's basically guaranteeing yourself a victory, potentially. So they really want this so badly.
They definitely want it, man. It's a rough one, man. I mean, we have a tied game. They are starting to rack up the damage again. But the story that was just told to me is It doesn't matter the damage you get out because the timely KOs have been on the side of K7 and Legendary Pred. I can't believe Cossack was able to make it back after getting hit by that dive kick, and that could have been exactly what I was talking about, getting that timely knockout, but it just didn't fit what I was trying to put out there. And now Team Vitamin Water really have to make something shake right now. You see Mirror Man getting bounced around all over the place, on the side of the stage once again, fighting against K7. Cossack's made it back.
Risky.
Now Mirror Man trying to do it. He gets bounced off his own rocket at 140. This is rough, dog. Uppercuts, good.
Okay, now they just have to go after Cossack. And that's all they need to do to get this last stock and the win for Winterside Grand Finals. Right now, K7 Showoff is going after Mirror Man to keep him away from Cossack, to really take advantage of any sort of thing. And really, that's a good idea, because if Cossack tries to come in and help save his teammate, then K7, we've seen him do it before. He'll flip like a switch and immediately take you out with an up special. And I think that's what K7 is waiting for.
He's definitely going over there and putting on a lot of damage. But you see both teams have a player in the 100. So they're trying to just put a 1v1 situation on with support and help and allow them to have the ones, because they don't want to go over and get KO'd themselves. So I like what we're seeing from both teams. Very smart play, very decisive. One guy staying on the right side of the stage, one guy staying on the left, and the other two are taking control in the middle, scrapping. This is actually very meticulous the way they're doing this, but the scramble's being put on because the tunnel is put on by Bugs Bunny, so both sides of the stage are taken over by the blue team, and we're seeing the dominance. Tried to go up there and get the KO on Cossack, but the dodge down was good.
Anything can happen at this point. It's like a game of trigonometry with how many crazy angles these players have been going at to try to kill each other, and nothing has been working so far. Is that it? That is it! They're gonna get it out of nowhere. K7 Showoff and Legendary Pred are gonna be able to get that kill that they were so desperately looking for. It honestly looked like we were going to see a game 5 there. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that Mirror Man and Cossack were gonna be able to get that one hit they were looking for. But man, talk about clutch. My goodness. K7 and Legendary Pred were just able to keep moving in such precise ways to keep themselves from getting KO'd. And it was a game of millimeters, because there were so many moments where blue team could have taken it, but red team, World's Greatest Detectives, were able to just get it at the very end.
Man, the closeout, man. I'm gonna talk to you like this. What you know what LeBron said whenever he went to the Heat? He came to that interview, he's sitting there with D Wade and Chris Bosh. He goes, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. And then he'll say he keeps on counting how many championships they're gonna win. That's how many uppercuts K7 was putting down. Not 1, not 2, but the infinite number of uppercut KOs he's put on in this tournament. He's making sure that he's solidifying dubs. When we get to this last replay, we're gonna see what I'm talking about. Nice, like this neutral was so good. Here he comes. Bow. Lands that. They're gonna both bunch up together. Oh, he lands the side there. Hold on. Bow. There it is. Whoop. There it is. And that's the KO from K7. Taking the dub from World's Greatest Detectives. These guys went into Grand Finals, and they're gonna wait for their next opponent. But man, Team Vitamin Water put up such a scrap. It just looks like World's Greatest Detectives Day, man.
Yeah, I mean, what an amazing set to end off winner's side of finals. And now they're going to be moving on to winner's side of grand finals. But you know what? I want to know from Yeso, what do you think about that set, my guy?
Yeso?
I think that we saw one of World's Greatest Detectives' best performances, especially in that matchup, right? We've seen a ton over, this new year of sets between Team Vitamin Water and World's Greatest Detective. And overall, Vitamin Water has gotten the better of K7 and Legendary in these sets. But there have been some tight sets, right? And the World's Greatest Detective has won some of them, right? They've forced some resets in grand finals. But this was some of the best play, and it really just felt like Legendary and K7 were playing confident. They were playing their style, and they were really kind of leading Vitamin Water by the nose throughout those 4 games. And that's the kind of play you need to have to beat this team, because look, Vitamin Water has been dominant so far here in 2023 in the Series Z, and I thought that was a statement set from World's Greatest Detective. And, you know, look, it's always going to be hard to pick against Vitamin Water, but if they earn the rematch, I'm going to have trouble not picking World's Greatest Detective to win that set, because they looked so damn good in that winners finals, and you love to see it. K7 showing up strong, Legendary doing the same, and they're now sitting comfortably. They'll get to watch losers finals, take a breath, get a reset, and look to carry that momentum into Grands, and I think it's going to be really, really fun. So hands off to them. They have played some tight sets, though, today, right? Both winners round 1 and 2, both going to 3 games for World's Greatest Detective. They do give a game over to Vitamin Water, but that was their best set today, and I think one of the best sets they've played against Vitamin Water this year. So really proud of them. Let's go down to the loser side, see where everything stands. Last time we were talking about it, we weren't sure what was going to happen with State Fair and Moonlit Knights. Moonlit Knights go 0-2 on the day. State Fair took the win in losers round 1. I think that is the first time we've seen Moonlit Knights finish at the bottom of our placements here in Series E. So that's a huge W there for State Fair. And not only did they beat them, they carried that momentum into the next set, and they beat Inside Out as well. Both sets going a full 3 games, but State Fair took care of business. And now that leaves them in a matchup with the team that got things rolling on the other side, because we talked about Aegon by AOC getting to that second round set up against World's Greatest Detective, and of course they did fall there, and they ran into Mike and Ike down in losers round 2, and they took the win there as well. So we've got an Aegon by AOC versus State Fair matchup that is going on off stream for loser semifinals right now. And we will have those results here very, very soon. So we'll likely go to a break here in a moment. And when we come back, we'll have the results of that set. We'll be ready to jump into losers finals. And it's going to be a fun run to the finish, because we've got 3 of our 4 Series E partner teams in top 4, all on losers side. Only one of them will get a shot at World's Greatest Detective, and Aegon by AOC and Vitamin Water will be looking for redemption, looking to take them out. I mean, State Fair as well, right? So it's actually, interestingly enough, all 3 duos that World's Greatest Detective beat today are all alive on loser side. We'll see who gets that option, that chance at redemption. We're going to a break right now. When we come back, it's the run to the finish. Losers finals into Grands here, or Series E MultiVersus, when we come back.
Tyson boneless buffalo bites have that tasty kick of flavor, so they're perfect for any get-together. If there are any left when your guests arrive. Tyson Anytizers Chicken. More kicks of flavor, more smiling snackers, more to love. Tyson.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
What's good, Series E squad? We're back in the building to close this tournament out. We are here at Losers Finals, gonna lead into the Grand Finals. We have Team Vitamin Water going up against Team State Fair. I'm your boy Zipmaster Flex once again, and I'm here with SIB Tailwinds. How you doing, my man?
I'm just really excited to finally get into Losers Finals here. It took a little bit longer than anticipated for that Losers Semifinals match, but hey, when games get that good, they get that good. So, of course, Team State Fair were barely able to make it out of loser semifinals against Team Aegon by AOC. They were able to take it 3-2 over Ross and Cinco, which is a very great accomplishment coming in from State Fair. They are not easy to fight against, and they were able to take it out. And now they have to fight against their toughest opponents, Team Vitamin Water, who were brought to the loser side after making it through winners like it was nothing against World's Greatest Detective, K7, Show Off, and Legendary Pred, who are sitting nice and pretty in winner's side of Grand Finals.
Yeah, they're up there chilling, man. They had a scrap. I'll tell you right now. That was a good scrap against Team Vitamin Water to get that dub and sit there in Grand Finals waiting for their opponent. But Team Vitamin Water, this is the team that you know what I mean? They took out Rams and Martoon. Rams and Martoons, and then they also moved forwards and beat Dante and Inside Out, and finally fell to World's Greatest Detectives. Now they're gonna have to deal with Team State Fair. Team State Fair, on record in Series E, has not done the best against Team Vitamin Water. But you know what I mean? If you are able to make a great run like you did here in this loser side, because these guys beat Aegon by ALC, Ross and Cinco. Those guys almost beat World's Greatest Detectives, which are in Grand Finals, right? They beat Dante and Inside Out, which took Team Vitamin Water down to the wire, right? And then let's see down here, Moonlit Nights. They cooked Broskies and Oopsie Tier. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long run for them, and I'm sure that they're warmed up, ready to rock, and they're gonna bring everything they can to this set. I'm just ready to see what we got, man. This is going to be a good one. I don't know how to call it. We've seen it a million times, right? Like, I could bring up all the different nuances of how these guys approach each other, but this tournament's been different than others. Everyone's just been going head first, like I said, running straight head first into each other and just throwing fisticuffs. So I think the last match we saw with Team Vitamin Water versus World's Greatest Detectives was the first one we saw with more nuance. Like, there was a little more decision making going on. The moment when we saw what was it? I know. Oh yeah, Legendary Pred played one side of the stage, and then we saw Koslix take one side of the stage, and then Mirror Man and K7 squared off in the middle. Right, and they were trying to make sure that neither one of their hurt players died, and they scrapped it out and tried to equal out the damage and figure out where the final KO was going to come from. That was the most nuance I've seen of the day, because every other match has just been fly at each other and try to get knockouts. So we'll see what goes on here. I'm excited for it. I'm gonna say I haven't seen enough of Team State Fair to really be in their favor in my mind in this set. For today, I haven't seen enough of them today to see how they're playing today. But you know, the story is being told by the loser side of the bracket. But Team Vitamin Water, I've been watching them, and Mirror Man is really, really playing well with his in and out, get pokes, get hits, go back to Koslix. His gameplay he's playing. I will say that Koslix's defense isn't looking as strong as it normally does to me. So that's where I'm scared.
Yeah.
But here we are, Series E. We're going in the loser final, and this is the set's going to start right now.
Now, I will definitely agree with you in the fact that this is going to be Metro Clueless' hardest matchup, that they have had a losing streak against them. However, I will counter that in saying that Metro Clueless have been playing extremely well in the past few weeks here. So if they do clutch out a win here, that would be a huge difference maker for them. And really, that would be a big upset as well. So that's something that they're definitely looking forward to hopefully accomplishing here as we start on Sky Arena.
Here, Sky Arena, we got the middle of the stage is controlled by the red team. Team State Fair has the hold in the middle. He's got two of them green orbs out hovering. Koslix had to evade and go over the top. Tried to get chased down. Meth tried to go up there and go see what he was talking about, but great movement So this is the defense that I like from Kostelix. He's not really been hit by too much. And for some reason, I see that the way this is going, Mirror Man is really staying out of the way.
Yeah, Mirror Man, he likes to play cool and calculated at most during his gameplays, because that's just how he is as a person. He's a very calculating person. He likes to go in on the right options whenever he can. He doesn't like to take too many risks, but he has been known for taking risks. He's not afraid to do them. He's just, he takes those risks when he knows he's going to be favored with them.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly what he does. That's what I was talking about earlier, his in and out gameplay. Wow, I don't even know what happened to Meth, like, because he didn't really get hit like that. I feel like he might have been clipped and then jumped up too high and went into the blast zone and KO'd himself. Because it didn't look like he was going to get KO'd right there. But either way it goes, we got 1-1 on the board, only 111 on the Iron Giant of Clueless. And we got 119 on Mirror Man. Mirror Man's been very evasive, but if you just look at the numbers, it's in the favor of the red team.
Yes, but that doesn't mean it's always going to be. Right now, Meth and Clueless looking for this KO on Mirror Man to bring it back to an even game. However, Kostelix sitting at 92, not the best spot for him at the moment. However, it could definitely change at the flip of a switch. If we see a Shaggy up special to take that kill on Kostelix, that would definitely bring them towards the brink of victory here. However, does Shaggy really want to do that against his fellow Mystery Incorporated team member?
And the Mystery Incorporated was putting a combo down on the Meth, but the uppercut coming out from Clueless.
Oh my gosh, the percent on Kostelix! Dude, you see that? He got caught in the green orb, and they brought out another laser orb that brought out so much damage. I think it did like 70%, and they just kept racking and racking and racking. They flipped this so hard into their favor already, just with that one play alone. I can't wait to see that in the replay, because it'll show how much damage it racked up.
He went to 80. I'm telling you right now, he went to 80. He spawned in and went to 80 damage instantly. And now he's getting butt bombed. He's getting thrown around. He's at 131. He catches the uppercut, survives somehow. Oh, the up back from Mirror Man going to take out the stock of Meth, but they know it. They smell victory. There's 98 on Mirror Man, so if he wants to keep approaching, he can still get KO'd. They're trying to find the hit on the Kostelix. Catches them in the orb. That was a snipe if I ever seen one, into the flying kick from Shaggy. Meth with the KO. Team State Fair with the dub.
Yeah, and like I said before, they've been playing really hot going into this week here. For the past few weeks, they've been doing so well, and that was such a clean game one for them against the best team in Series E Season 1 right now. I mean, great stuff from them, seriously. But here we go into the replays where we get to see that one moment in particular. But, I mean, these nuts and bolts have been giving Iron Giant such a clear advantage whenever he has them, because you can't contest it. You can hit them and it'll get rid of them, but he's not going to get knocked back. He's not going to take any damage from it. So you really cannot contest it. He's able to just go in for advantageous moments like that up air that took that first stock earlier. And then he's also able to do some butt slams and just not get punished for it.
Yeah, he's definitely been doing this thing, man. He's been calling the armor at perfect moments. What a dodge right there on that replay to dodge the up air coming out from Mirror Man. But Kostelix was on the back end, able to close that one out. And so here we go. We got the neutral here, and there was a lot of damage on the Mirror Man. I'm trying to see. No, that's not the play that I'm thinking of. It's actually coming after this one, if I'm not mistaken. Boom, he gets that one out of there, and then they're about to get this Kostelix stock, and then we'll get to see the one that we're looking for. So they're fishing around, boom, lands the hit, and goes up for an uppercut. Not able to get that one. Bam, and there it is. That's the stock. Now, you saw him go into rage mode. Orb.
Here we go, yeah. And then racking up all that damage. Look at that.
Boom.
79,
70.
80.
He's at 80.
Yep.
Ridiculous start to that stock. on one of the best defensive players in the game. If you don't give him a chance to play defense, then it doesn't matter anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that was a perfect play to put themselves in a position to win. But at the end of it all, look at how close this is. Look at the 144 on Coslicks, but look at the damage onto Clueless. Clueless is at 145. He was so close to getting KO'd. So that lead was cool and all, and there was a lot of big plays that gave them that lead. But without those big plays, that was definitely Team Vitamin Water's game. And if you look at the top of the screen right there, under Losers Finals, it says best of 5. So you don't get to just 1 and then 2 these guys. You have to take 3 games to close them out. And a performance like that to take the game, I don't know if that's what you want. Early on, look at the damage on the red team. Clueless and Meth are getting terrorized at the moment.
Yes, but it can go back into their favor at any point either. It just takes one insane play for them to take it, really. And it's all about the nuts and bolts for Iron Giant. The moment he gets a lot of nuts and bolts on his system to be able to just take a lot of hits and just tank so hard, that could flip the advantage into their favor. However, it's not been doing them any favors at the moment, as we see the mystery machine come out and it goes away. Okay.
It finally came out. Like, that's the first time all tournament, but he instantly butt bombs it and makes sure that thing is toast.
Oh, this is an interesting visual bug. They still have him targeted, but they already destroyed the mystery machine, and that is not Fred.
How you know that's not Fred? Maybe that's Fred when he's 50.
Well, the fun fact is that that guy used to be the police officer, because it was originally a police car, but they switched it out to the mystery machine because it made a lot more sense. And so instead of just making Fred, they just put him in Fred's shirt.
I ain't gonna lie, man. That's 50-year-old Fred. This whole time, Fred's been dyeing his hair blonde. That's what Fred looks like when he's older.
That's the Fred from Velma's show.
I'm freaking done. Okay, so we got a tied game on the board. Very, very even when it comes into the terms of damage. I can talk about the defense spreads and all that. So, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to just talk about how the damage isn't too bad for either team. Nobody's in real KO territory right now. Good fight off from Clueless. He saw Coslicks coming over to land an up air. He landed a side air on him, got him off of him. And now he's trying to scrap and get back on the stage. He's having a rough time. They're doing the back and forth. Tag, you're it. They're going, one comes in, the other comes out, and it's been a rough go at it on these stocks. They can't really find the hits on the blue team. Clueless and Meth are just getting tagged back and forth, back and forth. I'm looking for them to gain some type of composure, some type of control, and start getting some kind of hits and figure out who they want to focus. But the blue team's not allowing any of that right now.
Yeah, they've been doing a really great job just outwalling the opponent, even though it's their job to outwall. Red team are supposed to be the ones to wall out the opponent, but Mirrorman and Coslicks, they've been used to it. They know how to deal with this team whenever they can, and that's how they're going to do it. And look at that, the entire time, that target was just kept there. That is an interesting visual bug. I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that before either. But end of the day, in the match, let's talk about the fact that I just was talking about the way that Team Safer had to take that first game. Team Vitamin Water literally was in control the whole first game, but then there was giant plays that allowed Team Stay Fair to win. If you allow it to stay in neutral state and you don't get those highlight reel plays, you end up in the situation they just were in. They lose 2 stocks to 4, and it just looked like they couldn't get anything going. They were looking for big hits to start the team sequence, and they couldn't find any of that. And now you have to rely on neutral hits, singling out players, and things like that. But the movement was just too good. Precise hits like that up air coming out from Coslicks to get that stock right there. You got the, hitting him with the tornado, the down air from Coslicks. Even on recovery, he's making plays to make sure his teammate doesn't get KO'd. He gets KO'd right there, but who cares, right? You're still winning, and you're showing the resilience that you're always there for your mans on the team. Uppercut comes in, ties the game. From here, it's all Team Vitamin Water. Literally all Team Vitamin Water. Comes down for the butt bomb. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of damage on him. Comes out of the tunnel, smacks him, and Honestly, wait. What hit Meth? I didn't see what hit Meth. I don't know what happened right there.
I didn't see what hit Meth either, and I was paying attention the entire time to the replay. That, you know what? That was a visual mess of a game. We'll just say that. But I mean, that was definitely interesting to see just how they were able to take what they learned from game 1 against Meth and Clueless, and we're just like, all right, let's turn them for a loop.
Yeah, they turned up, man. They turned up.
They turned up real hard.
I mean, literally, it's like I feel like they played it. That's what I'm saying about the analytics. I feel like they played the exact same game as they played the first game, but there were big moments that happened in game number 1 that allowed State Fair to get the win. When in all actuality, without those plays, they just shouldn't have won that game. They did. I don't think they played better. They just had bigger highlight reel plays, and highlights don't win games.
Yeah, unfortunately, getting Twitter clips isn't what is going to get you games unless you're playing in a tournament that only allows you to get clips in order to win.
Yep. And now we got the stage switch over to Cromulons. I like the idea. You're going to limit the ground space for Kostelix to really run around and just keep zoning and zoning, right? But at the moment, he's got the space, right? But he's throwing hands. I like what I'm seeing from Kostelix. I always talk about how I think Velma has better fisticuffs than people give her credit for, but the uppercuts coming out from Clueless going to take out the stock. And that's a red team lead to start this off. But once again, that's a highlight play. He lands a double uppercut, gets the stock. Okay, that's a steal. But in neutral, were you winning? That's where it all comes down to in my eyes.
And I think he was winning there. Sure, it might have been a clip, and shout-outs to Banana Guard, but it's one of those moments that, I mean, he read where Kostelix was going to be DIing at, and he took well advantage of it. It's something that we could definitely see again, because I've seen Clueless go for that multiple times. So it's all about just knowing where your opponent's moving after you do the first one, and you just take advantage of it. But so far, Clueless having a bit of trouble here trying to get anything really going in terms of like an extension or a kill. And right now, Red Team having a bit of trouble here, trying to make it alive for as long as possible. But the missiles come back to help out as Rage Mode, once again, going to be a big crush for the Red Team here, as they are on match point. And I don't know if you noticed this, Zip, but they are 3 stocks in and not losing a stock until then.
Yeah, finally lost one, and it was because they won the neutral control. Literally after that Kostelix stock fell, the middle of the stage became the red teams. They didn't care how much damage they had on them. They controlled the game and created this lead, this situation. And that's what I mean by, you know, yeah, you're getting highlight KOs, and even that first one, I still wasn't a fan. Okay, yeah, you get a steal, but are you going to be able to control neutral? Once the neutral is dominated, that's where you win games in MultiVersus, and they have it right now. They've got everything under control. They've got there's not too much damage on them. They're playing the middle. They've got control of that mid platform, and they're making you float in the airspace because you have nowhere to go. That's what they want. Got them locked in the trap, right? 80% is sitting on Mirror Man, but Mirror Man with a beautiful combo turnaround onto Clueless. That's what you want to see. He's got both of them. Okay, safe hits. Now it's looking like Mirror Man and Kostelix might be able to close this out, but what a sidekick from Meth. He goes down for the down air, but the up air to combat the defensive offense.
Oh,
what a
man.
play from Kostelix.
And Meth's recovery as well. He was like playing such a great game there, and they are able to take it against Team Vitamin Water for the second time now this set. They are 1 game away from taking out Team Vitamin Water with a nice upset to boot, and to put Team Vitamin Water in 3rd place. Would it be the first time that Team Vitamin Water has ever been put in 3rd place?
No. I've seen it. I've seen it a few times, actually. I've seen it, if I'm not mistaken, I think 3 weeks ago. I think my man Yeso later will be able to tell us. I think about 3 weeks ago, I literally watched them get 3rd. But they obviously stay cream of the crop. They do what they need to do. Maybe 3 weeks ago or a month. I cannot remember, man. But I know I've seen it. Even in the first series, I've seen them get 3rd place. But these guys are they're top notch. They're one of the best teams, and Meth and Clueless have always been right there, hovering with them. I mean, a good comparison would be, you know, I'm gonna hit you with a flashback here. If anybody here is an NBA fan, if you go back to the 2000 and around like 10, yeah, about 2010 era, when the Memphis Grizzlies were mad nice, but they just couldn't beat people. They had Zach Randolph down there in the paint going crazy. You know what I mean? Those Grizzlies, they were one of the coldest teams in the league, but then you had the Kobe Bryant Lakers and the Paul Gasols and all that stuff going on. 2008, 2009. That's what Meth and Clueless are for the Series E. They are always a threat. They're always here. You're never going to just beat them easily. They're always there. They're only going to lose to the best of the best. And now they're having their time to shine. They're on the way to the finals, right? And they're on the way to the grand finals if they can close out this next game. I've seen it. I love sports. I love esports. I've seen this story told a million times, and it's one of my favorite stories.
Yeah, and there's a reason why people keep coming back to read or watch these stories, because they're just that gripping. They're just that entertaining. And we've been seeing how great State Fair has been doing. I mean, talk about a turnaround from the first game where they were able to take it. And then in the second game, I'm going to talk about that in a second here. But in the second game, it was really obvious that the blue team had a good number on the blue team. Or blue team had great victory over the red team in that second game, and then they were able to flip it around so easily the next game on. But let's talk about this Marvin the Martian here. Now, I think he's really cool in terms of overall combo game, and I'll be honest with you, I think this is a stellar counter pick from Mirror Man.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't like it. I don't think that he's going to be able to cover Costlix the same way that he does with Bugs Bunny. I just don't think it's going to be possible. And we already saw one stock fall. We'll see if I'm incorrect. But right now, the story ain't being flipped for me, brother. I already got where I think this is at.
I don't think you've seen Marvin the Martian do some wacky stuff. The thing about Marvin the Martian is he's kind of similar to Velma in the aspect that he can do some great DPS, but most importantly, he's a really amazing anti-meta to the projectile game. It hasn't been fully mastered yet, but he's able to do some ridiculous stuff to really counter some of the big advantageous meta-breaking stuff. And as you can see here, I mean, the moment Marvin gets his advantage, what can you can't really do much against it. And look at this.
I ain't gonna lie. It's looking like a botched pick, my boy.
Yeah,
right, so
I said that, and then they got 3 stocks on them.
I mean, look, it's still fairly, we talk about this often. If you get both of them at high damage and you can KO them both, good, right? But this is obviously the team that's going to be the hardest for, because Iron Giant's out there and he takes longer to KO. So yeah, you can rack up the damage and you can get a KO on both of them and win the game. But they only need one of you guys. I will say that one thing that Team Vitamin Water is doing well right now is limiting the damage that they're eating. They're doing a nice little bit of wowie zowie. What Costlix had him in the blender. He had Meth in the blender, and I don't know what Mirror Man did. Mirror Man came over there and did something, and in the blink of an eye, we had a KO on the board. It is a tied game, ladies and gentlemen.
You see, we were saying originally that this wasn't going to be good for the blue team, but here we are, starting to change our mind because it's back to an even game. And oh my goodness, Iron Giant's such a heavy character. He ain't going to die even at this high of a percent from that high up. It's really not going to be easy here. Oh, they got to figure out a way to make it back, and they're not going to be able to. Team State Fair is going to now put Team Vitamin Water in 3rd place, as State Fair is now going to have a chance to run it against World's Greatest Detective. And honestly, this is a round 1 rematch where they were 1 game away from taking it over Greatest Detective, but now they're going to have a chance at the run back from the beginning to the end.
Yep, this time they don't have to deal with the best of 3. They get the best of 5 against them, but they have to do 2 best of 5s. So I don't even know if that's much better than just getting the quick opportunity to just close them out really fast in a best of 3. So, I mean, look, let's go back to this game. We're looking at these highlights. That game did start to look a lot better towards the end. It was anybody's game towards the end. But Meth and Clueless, as I deemed them, the 2009 Memphis Grizzlies, they really showed that they were prepared. You came with a counter pick. They played the matchup correctly, started to slip away from them for a little bit, and they ended up closing you out still. You saw right there, he got side-aired and Clueless just landed on the platform, and I feel like he didn't even know what was going on. but it was so clean from that team. Nice job from Meth to close that bad boy out with the uppercut. He was actually racking up a lot of damage throughout that set. He was finding the moments. That one where we were talking about the orb hitting and then Koslik's going to 80, that was all Meth recognizing that his teammate caught Koslik's, and then he racked up damage while in that orb. We had a little bit of the jet boosters coming out down from the Iron Giant into that to add to the combo, but it was Meth, man. Meth was he wasn't the point man. I feel like Clueless is always the point man in those teams, but Meth is there. He's always there to make sure that they capitalize and close out games, and I love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I've been seeing a lot of Clueless going in for racking damage and then Meth taking those opportunities and getting kills out of them. That's one thing that's really good about Shaggy is he's very similar to Batman in the aspect that he's able to land up specials very similarly to Batman. And I mean, if you look at the two of their up specials, they're very similar in how they work and how they kill. So, I mean, it works out for them in that format because we've been seeing it with K7 and Legendary Pred, who Meth and Clueless are going to be fighting against here in Grand Finals. We've been seeing how that works in their favor, and now Meth and Clueless, Team Stay Fair, they're putting that in their advantage.
Yeah, I love it. I love to see it. So now, moving forwards, we're going up against the Goons. Talking World's Greatest Detectives. And what's funny is, World's Greatest Detectives, these guys aren't going out there and finding clues. They're not trying to break things apart and figure out what's the answer. They're just pulling up and duffing. You know what I mean? They're coming over there and knocking you clean out. They might as well name themselves Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying?
What, you mean that eventually they're going to bite the opponent's ear? Is that what you're trying to say?
Don't disrespect Mike's legacy with the ear bite. That dude was out here throwing hands and knocking people clean out in round 1.
It happened? That's on him.
It happened, but that's not his whole legacy.
It's not.
But no, yeah, man. Like, I want to see what they're doing, man. Because, yeah, World's Greatest Detectives, they are so relentless in the pressure, and I think K7 is the catalyst, and Legendary Pred does a great job of assisting him in that high octane offense. So going into this game, this is gonna be it's gonna be rough.
It's gonna be rough indeed.
It's gonna be rough for the fact of, I feel like how I was just talking about controlling neutral and getting highlight plays. I feel like to win against Stay Fair in that first set, if I'm not mistaken, there was a lot of robberies. There was a lot of highlight plays that got them that set. Because Iron Giant is going to cause issues for them, like, period. Like, the team that they're running is going to cause issues. Yeah, that was the team that made them switch to Velma. Remember? They had to switch over to Velma to close the set.
Yeah.
The only people that made them switch this whole tournament. So
yes, that is true.
Right. So, like, this is not going to be easy by any means. I mean,
I definitely agree. And I think they're going to start game 1 with the Batman-Velma combo. Because they know it works. And it worked so well in that first set. Because after they swapped to the Batman-Velma comp, they were dominant against Meth and Clueless. So I would not be surprised to see that Batman-Velma comp going into all of Grand Finals here and just putting them in for a loop. Because what answers do they really have against all the DPS that Velma can throw at, with the kill potential that Batman has? I mean, K7's Batman. I mean, what answers do you have against that?
Yeah, I know. I mean, K7's Batman is just, I did it earlier. I'm gonna do it one more time. Chef's kiss. You know what's funny is actually I did that again. I did that for this team too, because I said that K7 was I can't remember what I said K7 was doing, and then I said, and then Legendary Pred's Wonder Woman is Chef's kiss on top of the, their team comp. So that's funny that I've come back full circle and did it again for them. But it's K7's Batman is the catalyst. He doesn't never need to switch. He's got what he needs right there, and he does exactly what that character was built to do. Legendary Pred is, like I said, is always there for him, and if you cannot stop K7, and then you're allowing Legendary Pred to play freely and be his assist man and give him that armor, combo off of him, and set up combos for him. If you're allowing that, I mean, you're gonna lose. Like, we've been seeing it all night. But I feel like State Fair has done enough tonight to show that you can't easily just pick them apart like that. They're gonna wow, and there it is. I love the counter picks. We saw earlier that switch over to Velma to close them out. They said, you know what? We collected the data. We know what you guys did to us. We know you're bringing the Velma back out. So here's the Harley Quinn, the actually buffed Harley Quinn, coming out to deal with you guys, and we still keep that Iron Giant. I love what we're seeing here.
I'm so excited to see this because I have not seen much of Meph's Harley Quinn, so I'm very excited to see how this is going to turn out. But I mean, is this really the answer, though? That's my question going into this. Is like, this is an awesome counter pick and all, but is this going to be the answer? I want to see some results with this character because I haven't seen how Meph does with her. So that's what I'm looking into here.
I mean, we'll find out. I mean, we're getting into this bad boy. They're all scrapping. K7 is the one with the most damage on it. He's probably the lightest character on the board besides Harley.
So far, so
actually,
good.
He is lighter than Harley, isn't he?
Batman is not. I don't know. You know what? He might actually be.
I think he is.
It's a weird situation because he's a bruiser, but he has the weight of an assassin.
Exactly. Either way it goes, I mean, it doesn't matter. You got a high damage Batman, he's gonna fall, which he did. Meph and Clueless do have a lead right now, but on the side of the stage, Legendary Pred harassing, trying to get Meph's stock off, but Meph, with the movement of a god, gets back onto the stage.
Yes, as we are also seeing a great kill coming in from K7 every single time. He just gets those kills whenever you need him to. And now he's going for a kill attempt on Clueless here towards the top. He's really looking for it, but he hasn't been able to get it just yet. We see the up air coming from Legendary Pred, the setup for an up special kill, but unfortunately K7 just wasn't able to get it in soon enough. And now Meph really trying to play the offstage game. They put them off stage, not give them any moment to recover on the stage, and giving Clueless an opportunity to be able to recover himself back on a stage, get the tools that he needs to get himself set back up into the next interaction.
So I like it. They tied the game up points wise. There's still 113 sitting on to Legendary Pred. As long as his movement's good. Wow. I was gonna bring up a whole different point, but then we got a rob stock from K7. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that up air from Iron Giant will linger if you hold it for as long as you need it to until it hits, and then he lets go. So definitely, it was just like a moment that was gonna happen no matter what. You just had to really DI out of it as much as possible, and there wasn't much you could do in that situation. However, oh no, the SD coming in from Meph wasn't able to latch on the wall fast enough, and that gives the red team, though, an opportunity to go down towards the bottom of the stage, get that kill that they desperately needed to take the first game against World's Greatest Detective. I don't know, this counter pick is looking pretty good so far, but it's only one game.
Yo, it's only one game, but 4 KOs for Clueless and 371 damage for Meph. It looks like they've been playing the team the whole time. That was so good. Now, that last KO, he had the orb sitting out on the side of him, and his teammate falls. He has the orb sitting out there. but he played so well around it, had it coverage, and then he goes, okay, you have to go under because you can't go up. You're going to run into the orb, and he dunked them. So we'll see the replay in a moment. There is one replay that we're not going to see that I wish we did when he was up in the air and K7 was trying to come get him, but he had that green orb under him, and he was floating above it, like, try to uppercut me if you want to, you're going to run into this, and then he got back to the stage at 170%. We're not going to see that one because there was no KO that followed it, but that was my favorite play of the game.
Yeah, honestly, I think that might have been one of my favorite plays as well, because it just went to show like how much awareness these players can have, and that's always like so important, because you could miss opportunities that lead to really cool moments like what you discussed there if you don't have the awareness for it. But here we go, going into the end of this stock here. It was looking really good for K7. He was put at such a great advantage spot that he was able to go in and get that kill with the spike. And then going into this portion here, it was just a ragtag fest until the very end. But here we go. Now we're going on Sky Arena with no platforms this time around for game 2.
All right. We're back here, getting to it. And it's a big scramble to start the game off. Wow, the down air into the down special. And K7 making early work of Meph's first stock. That is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about when it comes to this team. It's so volatile, and if you cannot control the nooch and really dominate them there, then you're going to be upset by some of those big plays. Out on the side of the stage, bomb hits, couldn't connect for a combination to get K7 stock out of there, so you are not able to even the game up.
Yeah, you're right about that. As we go into this next portion of the fight, not going to be a good kill yet. K7 doing a great job getting that good DI out of there. And we now see some shields coming in from Velma, but great movement from K7. Going to be able to dodge that up air. Going to get that out special, but not fast enough to get the second one, unfortunately. He's really looking to get this kill on the Iron Giant, even though Nuts and Bolts were in play for just a few seconds there. I mean, this is not easy so far for K7 to get this kill off, but he's certainly going to do it at any moment because he's just been so consistent with it.
Very, very, very consistent. Double
there it is.
Coming out from K7. Gets another stock off of Meph. Finally going to fall, but the Dunkaroonie coming out from Legendary Pred gives a 3-1 lead. 113 damage sitting on Legendary Pred, but, you know, it's Velma, right? Velma's going to play the runaway game, and you're going to have to deal with Batman. So, you know, do you just focus him or do you focus K7? And there you go. We do get the answer. The answer was Meph is coming over to holla at you. Legendary Pred's going to fall 2-1. Lots of damage sitting on this Harley Quinn, but that's 53. That's not the worst. So this is still in okay territory for them as long as Meph can play some good defense.
Yes, and speaking of good defense so far, Clueless has been really doing a great job here going into this, where he's just providing a lot of defense here for Meph, who, you know, one of the latest characters in the game, Harley Quinn, does die relatively early. So being able to help your teammate just by defending for as long as possible there to give Harley Quinn the ability to just start setting up the stage with projectiles such as Jack in the Box and the stuffed plushy grenades. Those are extremely important, but guess what? That stuff ain't gonna matter if you can't survive long enough, and World's Greatest Detectives, they're gonna prove that.
World's Greatest Detectives putting another one on the board. They said, nah, ain't no way y'all gonna reset this. They don't want to deal with that reset. No one wants to deal with the reset. And that was just immaculate play. And it was good because you watch K7, he's actually fading right there at the end, and then he turned around with the uppercut and caught Clueless on the left side of him. That dude, if you're over the top of his head, he's going to see what's going on. And this is that first KO. This is the one that set the tone. And actually, that's the one that really, it set the tone, and that's the one that mattered the most in closing out this set, because they get that, and then it makes everything else more free and easy throughout the set.
Man, one thing I've been really noticing is that like we saw it there with that first stock. Really all the teams so far, they have been really relying heavily on using the wall to recover back on the stage. And I always tell people this, even during my Metafy coaching sessions, you don't want to rely on the wall as much as you think you do, because your opponents are going to assume you're relying heavily on the wall, and so they're going to try to spike you off stage from close to the wall. So if you use it like the walls in like Rivals of Aether, for example, where you just use it to get your recovery tools back and move away from the wall afterwards to recover back onto stage, that actually does give you a potential advantage to punish your opponent for trying to edgeguard you and make a reverse edgeguard by that.
You are correct, but I'm going to play devil's advocate, and that's the problem in this level of play. These guys know that, like, this is relevant in all competition. They know, well, person versus person competition. They know that that's the idea, that you're so good that you're not gonna sit on the wall. You're gonna try to tap it and then back off. So people do, like, I like to like Legendary Pred was doing this a lot in that game, and especially K7 will do it. If you tap the wall and you fade out to the right, they know you're going to do that, so they do their down air a little bit further out to where you could skate fully up the wall, but if you go out a little bit wide, you're going to get clapped. So it's a good play generally, but if the guy's ready, and these guys are already a lot, I've seen them get clapped for trying to do that.
That is true, and I do give you that as we go into our next game here on Cromulons. This is definitely a great stage for State Fair. We've seen them win very, very easily on this stage, and oh! Yikes. Yikes for the blue team on that one. I mean, that was the quickest... that wasn't even like a minute. That was like a little over 30 seconds, and they already took 2 stocks just from that one interaction alone.
I'm talking instantaneous, and they're still not really that damaged. Like, you know, got 122 on Iron Giant. What is that? That's 70 for another character. And then you got, you know, well, Harley's in KO territory, but when you got Iron Giant running around helping you out, it's more health than you think it is. So look at the damage getting racked up already. Both these guys are about to cross the 50 mark. Ooh, Iron Giant Clueless messed up the movement just a little bit, and K7 was able to capitalize. He saw it, he sniffed it out, and came out and got that KO. Now, tied game on the board, but a lot of damage on this blue team.
Yes, and now Clueless is going for the offensive because, you know, he's got like 38% on him. It's not like he's going to die anytime soon. So he's going to go for an all-out offensive, try to take advantage of the fact that the opponents don't have that much time remaining, really. Legendary Pred 92. He's not afraid to just go in and get the offensive pressure on him because Legendary Pred, Velma, not an amazing character when it comes to recovery. She's very exploitable when it comes to it because of how floaty she is. So it really is going to depend here on whether or not Clueless and Meth are going to be able to keep their game on stage consistent here. But so far they've been doing a great job of that.
I love the way that I'm seeing how... oh my gosh, he almost had it! I was going to say I love the way that K7 is chasing, but he cannot find that last hit. Look at this dude, Clueless. He is living. He's surviving, able to close out the game. Meth coming through for the closeout, flipping around the stage with Harley Quinn. These guys are one game away from a reset here in Grand Finals. Team State Fair, let's get it.
Every single time we see the combos, the ladder combos in particular, going towards the top there, and we think that a KO is going to happen, and then it just barely misses every single time, and it always just irks me. But here we go into the replay. I mean, first of all, this moment in particular, they are at 60-something%. They get hit so much, it literally more than doubled their percent. It gave them like 80% there. That's nuts. That wasn't even 30 seconds in. And then the second kill from K7 here, going to, it gave them a little bit of an advantage, but I mean, it did not last for too long because the moment Clueless brought his behind down to the ground like he was jumping into a swimming pool, it was lights out because they lost advantage at that point.
The Tookus Smush. That's what that move is, right? He comes. Can't believe I said that. He came down and dropped the buns on him. All right. So now out on the side right here, the movement from Clueless was so good. Doesn't take the L on that KO, and then that allowed Meth Time on the stage to get the KO, and that was clean, man. And you know what, man? I'm not even trying to be funny, bro, but Tailwinds. This is what your hairline talking about right now, bro. You dead
my
ass
hairline.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. You got the Vegeta, bro.
I didn't even notice it until you pointed it out, and now I'm really self-conscious. Thanks.
No. Look, if it was on me, terrible. You didn't even notice. That's how fitting it is. It's all good.
Alright, here we go. Sky Arena with platforms. No Vegetas here as we get into game 4. Okay. That could be,
Yeah, they're not playing this one out.
Yeah, there's no way they're playing this one out.
Yep.
Desync is what occurred there, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing like your sinking going out the window. But yeah, we're going to be getting
and the
into
kitchen
the
sink
next game shortly. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to throw it in the kitchen sink, you might as well throw the kitchen sink out of the window, but that might be heavy, so you might need to call your brother from a couple doors down.
You know, a porcelain sink is heavy, but the kitchen sink is actually not very heavy.
But what if the kitchen sink is made out of porcelain? Some people have that in their house. Like,
People have porcelain kitchen sinks? That's a thing?
Yeah.
What kind of rich stuff is that?
Rich stuff. That's why.
How do you put
if they have a
porcelain kitchen sink?
If they have a barn door sink though, where it's made out of like aluminum, then yes, it's gonna be great to throw out of a window. But no, there are some people where like they'll have it either be made out of like porcelain or possibly even granite to look like a bathroom sink at a retail store or something.
Okay. Interesting.
Some people have different tastes. Speaking of different tastes, I really like having that acquired taste of a day's sink during a game. You know what I mean?
Oh man, you know
it's an acquired taste.
I have a question. Where'd you get that Sonic back there? That thing's kind of fire.
Oh, so this is the official Sonic Mania Collector's Edition.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got it on Black Friday like a good few years ago. Like it was like a year after it came out or something.
Okay.
But yeah, it's really cool. He's standing on top of a Sega Genesis Model 1. And there's actually a power switch on there. If you flip it, it'll actually do like the traditional Sega sound. But that's neither here nor there.
So you bought Sonic Mania, the collector's edition, and it comes with the figure?
It came with the figure. It came with a cartridge that isn't a real cartridge, but it's a holder for like an actual golden ring and a bunch of other little goodies.
That's fire. I like it. Connie talking about he got one too. That's clean, man.
That's it. It's the only collector's edition that I have because I got it I think I only got it for like 20 or 30 bucks on Black Friday.
Look at you.
So I was like, yeah, I'll get it.
That's clean. I like it. You know, I'm not even a fan of the Iron Giant movie, but from watching Clueless play, I want to buy an Iron Giant figure.
Can we get a life-size cool. Iron Giant plushie, please? Like what Pokemon Iron has Giant with a Giant's life-size Lucario plushie. That would be really cool, actually. Oh, it would be a pain in the behind to ship, but it would be so cool. Like, I would love
Where would you store that?
On your bed.
Human size, not life size. Because life size is to be as big as your
on
house.
a bed, or you're gonna have it sitting on a chair, because there's not really anywhere else you're gonna be able to put it.
Oh my gosh.
Like, I think it would be so cool if we had like a life-size rain dog plushie. Like a beanbag chair almost. That would be so cool. But anyways, going into the next game here, another desync! Oh, it's not another desync? Let's see.
No, it looks like they're scrapping.
Oh, okay. So the reason why they took one stock was because of the desync. Okay.
Okay.
Because this desync occurred, they lost one stock going into the next game.
Okay.
That works. It's unfortunate because then it doesn't feel as genuine, but you know what? We take those.
No, it definitely feels genuine. We all know what happened. We all saw it. Double uppercut coming out from Clueless on the right side of the stage. Try to get Legendary Pred, but Legendary Pred has that Velma. She's going to be able to eat both of those bad boys. Only at 70%, not enough to KO. And left side of the stage, we have Meth trying to make plays, tried to hit the back turnaround side of the hammer. Not good enough. Ooh, barely missed the down air.
Did you see that adjustment from Legendary Pred? Like,
yeah.
We need a replay on that because that was nuts. That was like Matrix crap right there, bro.
He micro moved it, dog. Like, it was so clean. It was so clean that he saved that stock, and it was very necessary for his squad. You know, you start this one off. You start off with the lead, and you want to hold that as long as you can. Oh, Clueless was trying to set something up there. He had K7 in the orb, and I feel like he was trying to get like a reset potentially on him popping out of the orb, waste his resources, but he just didn't get it. And boom, there it is. It doesn't matter. Legendary Pred's going to fall on the right side of the stage, staying alive, coming down with the buff on. Oh no, but Meth falling on the left side of the stage, 173 on Clueless. K7 really wanted a piece of that action, but he couldn't catch him.
Yeah, and now K7 really going after Clueless here to try to get this kill off as soon as possible, and is going to be able to do it. Puts him on match point. Now, Red Team really needs to get something going against K7 Show Up here in order to bring it back to an even game. But now they're going to be Blue Team's going to be going after Meth here from Team State Fair, because at this point, I mean, Harley Quinn, very light character. You really want to just take her out and get that Game 5 initiated.
You are 100%, man. Like, I'm trying to look at how this is going. I feel like K7's been doing a good job of securing KOs on the Clueless. So, like, I get that he keeps trying that 1v1 with him and allowing Meth to go at Legendary Pred, but it's just so hard to get those KOs onto this character, and you're allowing him to rack up so much damage on you. Now you have to play the defensive offense, and it's a rough situation to put yourself in. But Clueless with this character, I don't know what else you could do, because he's not going to allow you to jump his teammate. He's going to force you into a 1v1 situation, and that's why this team works out so well. But the KOs coming out from the blue team, Legendary Pred putting the team on his back in game number 4, and this is going to be 2-2. Team State Fair versus World's Greatest Detectives.
Yeah, this is going to be a real big decider here. I feel like this is the one game in particular that's really going to determine the entire, like, end-all, be-all, like, who's going to win the tournament. If I see Meth and Clueless Team State Fair winning this, then I would believe that they could win the entire thing, because that's a lot of demotivation for K7 and Legendary Pred, where they have to play another set against Meth and Clueless, and that's not easy because of look how close this has been. And then if we see Legendary Pred and K7 win, they win the whole thing. So it's really the big determining factor here. This Game 5 means the entire world to both teams right now, because it could turn the tides at any point. Like, this is going to probably be our, like, craziest match we've seen coming up.
Yeah, this one right here. It's going to decide the reset. I mean, I'm with you. You know what? I'm just going to stick with you and say this will decide how the rest of this goes. Because once this reset happens, if Clueless and Meth show that they can close out right here, and if it's in dominating fashion, the reset goes in a very different way. Like they really come in there with some big momentum. The morale will get knocked down a bit from World's Greatest Detectives, and they should be able to run it through. World's Greatest Detectives, they can close this bad boy out if they can win this right here. So we're gonna see what kind of energy they bring into this first game. And getting clipped a good bit is Meth to start this bad boy off, but he gets a juggle, starts the juggle on K7, and there it is. He got saved, and he wasn't able to close it out.
And those nuts and bolts going into a favor from Clueless there, as really K7 doesn't have too many big multi-hit moves to be able to take advantage of trying to get rid of all of those nuts and bolts at around the same time. So he was just taken advantage of with that, unfortunately. But he's not going to be afraid of it regardless. He's just going to try to go in and get the damage up some more here. Oh, we see the zap orb come in, but nothing out of it, though, as we're going to see that first KO going on to K7. And Legendary Pred looking to do the same here with getting a stock loss on their end as well, but looking to avoid it right now for the time being.
I like what I'm seeing. There's a lot of damage sitting on Legendary Pred, so the name of the game is allow him to survive right now. Double uppercut came out from K7. He wasn't able to KO Iron Giant, but this is getting very close. Clueless is in danger. He makes it back on and pops the bolts at the perfect moment to make sure that the KO does not get secured. 143 on Legendary Pred, but he's playing good defense on the right. On the left. He kept Meth at bay, and then Clueless was gonna fall. Boom, finally, there goes the stock of Legendary Pred. The lead for the red team is looking nice right now. Team State Fair really aiming to get this reset.
Oh boy, Legendary Pred and K7 gonna get that second stock for them. Now this brings things a little bit closer. However, K7 91%, not a highlight for you to be in at the moment, but oh, I like the quick swiftness coming in from K7. Gonna use that charge down tilt to really go in against Meth whenever he was trying to throw out some moves there. Very good stuff. It basically let him get in, rack a little bit of extra damage there, especially to keep himself in a little more of an advantage state. Oh, I like the use of the shields there along with Megaphone to be able to rack the damage but not get punished.
That was good, right? Like, I liked it, but it got depleted really fast. And at 148, K7 is having a really rough time. I feel like he's kind of been taken out of the equation at the moment. And boom, bam, resets happening. Look at the spin of Rooney. I ain't seen spins like that since Michael Jackson was in his prime. The Team State Fair is getting the reset against World's Greatest Detectives. They met up with these guys, fell into losers in the winner's side, and they're back at it again, fighting them here in grand finals and showing that they're worthy opponents.
Yeah, and I mean, what a big turnaround as well from the first set that they've played in the entire tournament. They went World's Greatest Detective went 2-1 against Team State Fair, and they were relatively close all three times, except for the last two games. They were a little bit more in World's Greatest Detective's favor, where they swapped out to the Velma and were really able to take advantage of that difference in play style against Team State Fair. But this time around, they couldn't do that because of the fact that they played against them before. So it just led to a matter of who's going to be able to outplay the other side first. And I've been saying it this entire tournament. Team State Fair, they have been playing extremely well for the past few weeks here. So to see them get this reset is not as surprising to me, but at the same time, it's much appreciated and well loved.
Yeah, it's not surprising at all, right? Like we already know that these guys are top notch. Like they've been playing so hard in these series events. They're always here in the end games of these. Like they're a top 4 team every time they pull up. Like, right? So I'm not surprised by it at all. But I will say, as a fan, I'm happy to see them here in grand finals and getting a reset and trying to close this bad boy out. But then it's like the other side of my heart, like I want to see K7 win, so it's like, dang. But we have the last set of the night. The reset has happened, and now both teams are in the loser side of the bracket. K7 Show Off and Legendary Pred, the world's greatest detectives, are going up against Team State Fair, Meth, and Clueless. I mean, what more can we ask for, man? This is multi-versus madness.
Exactly. This is the one to determine it for this this Friday night. And another thing as well is like the winner of this tournament, it does set a little bit of a target on their back going into the rest of the season, because then not only do they have to meet the expectations of people saying, well, they won this last tournament, so surely they're going to win a little bit more going to end the season, but it also puts a little bit of pressure on their backs to really try to step it up as well. So it's not going to be easy after this for either side. I mean, if Meth and Clueless do win this out, that's pressure on them for sure. So it's definitely something that we'll have to see how things play out here. But looking at things right now from both sides of things, it's looking like either side can take this.
Oh, yeah. This is good stuff. We're getting in here. Grand Finals is underway. Both sides, teams on loser side, tried to go down and get the Dunkaroonie. I love the play from K7, but a better play from Clueless to call the bolts early on and make sure he doesn't get caught by that down special. But out on the left side of the stage, K7, are you kidding? The relentless pressure, making sure that he got that KO. You ain't giving it to me the first time, but I'll take it the second time.
They ain't playing. They playing.
Wow, and Clueless said right back at him, came back into the game, barely ate 2 hits, and hit him with a double uppercut, took the stock off of K7. What a start to the first game of this Grand Finals reset.
Clueless, every single time he gets these up airs, I'm just thinking of like a Pokemon in a battle using Sky Uppercut as an attack. It's just so good.
Oh my gosh. All right, nice. Okay, we got juggle attempts. Boom, and there goes another stock. Meth and Clueless coming through. They have a lead. K7's at high damage. They could extend this lead very largely right now if they can get him out of there and then start controlling the neutral. But nice job. I don't even know what happened. I feel like the grab run from the Velma caught and then the uppercut from K7 KO'd, but I can't quite tell you what the combination was that got that KO.
It was a little bit of going in and then out that really took it for them there, but the red team has the advantage at the moment. If they're able to keep this damage racked up on Clueless and giving Meth enough time to be able to go in and get some more damage in, get some more DPS, get that potential KO on either Batman or Velma, they could definitely take this entire set, like I said earlier. But right now, they're having a little bit of trouble finding that sweet spot.
Yeah, trying to find a sweet spot. There's 170, 180 on to Clueless, and they're definitely trying to find the sweet hit. The uppercut will do it, lands the cape and the fist, and gets the KO there. Now, even game. A lot of damage on to Legendary Pred, so he is going to have to play a lot of defense here to close this bad boy out. Let K7 do his thing, but he's kind of getting jumped right now, so you need to send some word bubbles of Megaphone, something. There goes Megaphone, but the dodge was good from Clueless.
I'm liking this game plan so far from K7 and Legendary Pred. They're not approaching very heavily into the game. They are just taking this slowly, 1 second at a time. They don't want to go in too heavily because they know it's going to be a bad spot for them. I like that recovery option from Legendary Pred. However, nuts and bolts plus the rage meter, not going to be easy to try to avoid, but he's going to be able to do it. Now, oh, that's certainly going to do it, and that will be for Team State Fair as they are going to put their first game on the board in the reset here.
My goodness. Clueless fainted as if he was going to go over there and fight K7 and go help out, and then turned around with a butt bomb and KO'd my mans. So that will be the game on game number 1. The reset has started. The Team State Fair has the lead, and I mean, I'm loving what I'm seeing right now. These highlights are going to be great, man.
I mean, that's what it's all about here. We've been seeing such great moments from both teams here so far in Grand Finals, and it's been nothing but back and forth trades between both sides. Like that first stock there, where Clueless just did not have a proper way to recover back on a stage, gave it up, and went into the next stock with a clean 0% and was able to take the kill out on the top there very early. That's the kind of stuff that you're looking for the most here when it comes to Iron. Really, any character, you want to get those early kill scenarios as soon as possible in the early game, because that puts you in such a big advantage going in for the rest of the game, because you're one stock ahead already and you've barely taken any damage. So that's what you really want to be looking for.
That's what you want to be looking for, man. That Clueless KO coming back and getting that KO, that nullified everything. But yeah, you see right here, it's 2-2. There's 135 sitting on 2K7, and a good old team combination after the orb catches him is going to do the job. But now you have Clueless, right? He gets clipped a couple times. The chase, right? He whiffed. Boom, sweet spot uppercut is going to do the job. Now, tied game. This was rough because the blue team was really hurt, but it was looking like they could have did it. He's going to go for a butt bomb here, doesn't commit, goes back to the stage, starts going over like he wants to go, right? And he feints back over, bam, lands it at 140. Most characters in the game aren't going to survive that. Picked her up from under the platform, threw her up into the heavens, and what a KO from Clueless. Clueless was really showing out that game. Clueless, at the beginning couldn't play the right defense, was getting hounded, and K7 did exactly what I expected him to do in this set, and really put that pressure on. He did what he needed to do, but Clueless had an answer.
It seems like they always seem to have an answer when they need it the most, and they were able to do it there that last game. But here we go, going into the next game, and the swap off from the Velma to Wonder Woman going into this next game. Now, remember in the very beginning when I said that this wasn't necessarily the best choice for them going into the set against Team State Fair? I don't know if that's going to be the same thing going into this one. It could change because we've seen more gameplay from Legendary Pred, and he's had a little more practice with the character going into this tournament. So there's a possibility that we could see things change here, especially because Legendary Pred's game plan is going to change because of the character swap. So we'll have to see.
Well, K7's fully warmed up. He's literally he's on everybody. Every time he touches once, he's going to touch again. He's racking up damage. He's putting you in scary situations. And what is better to follow up than Wonder Woman's up shield, her side punch, all those things that she can do. Now, so I like what they're doing here. The game has changed as opposed to what they were playing earlier. So now going back to this makes sense.
I agree, and that's like the most important thing going into this is changing up the game plan, making stuff more unique so that way your opponent just doesn't know what to do here. And I liked that little bit of a team combo going on towards the middle of the stage there on Clueless. Racking up as much damage as possible is going to be so necessary here.
Alright, man, a lot of damage on that blue team, but they haven't lost the stock yet. Look at Meph. Meph is close to falling also, right? So you get that one, yes! And now you hold on to these stocks as long as you can. You rack up damage while you're at this percentage, and this will solidify a dub for you. You're gonna fall there, right back at it, okay? But the heftiness, the defense of Wonder Woman is gonna allow Legendary Pred to hold on. What a dodge from Clueless. The whip came out and he dodged it perfectly and then turned around and got the KO. Now, tied game, didn't rack up as much damage as I wanted them to, and mainly because not much touch Meth. Yeah, you got Clueless very hurt, but look at him surviving at 175. So the more damage on to Meth would have mattered more. Nice, got the KO, and now they're picking them apart. I like it. They're slowly making small decisions time after time and putting on so much pressure that Team State Fair can't even think.
Oh, I almost saw K7 going for an extremely volatile combo there against Meth96. Not going to be able to get it, unfortunately. We're going to see a little bit of action coming in from K7. Barely! Oh, the reverse kill confirmed there off from Meth. Going to take that third stock from K7. And honestly, that was a really excellent play. Really great awareness coming in from Meth96. Just not giving K7 what he was looking for at that moment. but things could change at any point here. The moment we see a connecting up special from K7, it could lead to a kill here.
This is a hard clutch, man. Like, there's so much damage on map, and that is going to be very, very rough, especially the way K7 is controlling space with the, oh, baby. I was going to talk about the battering, but god dang, the dive kick will do it. And I ain't seen K7 that lively after a dub since that taunt early on. He hit the left-right switcheroony on him, and he's feeling himself. 442 damage, 4 KOs with 312 coming out from Legendary Pred. That was a game that they needed. That's the morale booster.
Yeah, that was a big boost of confidence, a big boost of BDE that gives them the ability to just really go in there in the next game and take advantage of it, man. I mean, that was great. They isolated both of the red team like they needed to, because really you want to get rid of Harley Quinn as much as possible. The Iron Giant can be a threatening unit for sure, but Harley Quinn, her projectiles can leave a muck of things all over the place, and you really don't want to deal with that as Batman or Wonder Woman either. So it's very important that they were able to do that going into this.
Yep. I love to see what we saw from both teams. You know, there's a moment right here. You got all this damage. Legendary Pred not falling right there. That right there was huge. Doesn't fall from that one either. Tries the whip. I saw the dodge. Now you come over there and finally the KO is done. But making them work that hard for that KO, that matters so much in the long run. Didn't see too much damage come out from it, but it mattered a lot in the momentum shift. They didn't allow him to get that clean KO and then start jumping Legendary Pred. K7 instantly.
Indeed, and we'll have to see if things will change here going into the next game. We've said it before that it's been back and forth between both of these teams. So I would not be surprised to see Team Stay Fair have really options to be able to take care of the other team.
That last KO, you saw what I was talking about. He went and he touched the wall and he tried to jump off, what we were talking about earlier. And then you saw Clueless see him coming down and try to jump off. And before he even jumped off the wall, K7 started to angle the dive kick out wide, because that's what the smart player is going to do. You're going to go out wide. You can't stay on the wall. And he got clocked right in the top of the noggin. And it sucks. It's like once you get to a certain level in games, like once you start to be really good, you get punished for being good because people are going to make a read that you're smart. And it gets you clapped.
All right, looking in the beginning of this game, I wouldn't be too surprised to see if we get an early KO because of these speakers still being in play. Nothing too much just yet, however. And Clueless going to use one of the speakers as a way to be able to set up his game plan, just getting a bunch of metal out of the game and putting some nuts and bolts charges into his system. He's going to be able to get Rage Mode fully going here, as we see a lot of percent right now on Clueless as well. It's only a matter of time before a KO is going to happen on him. But right now, blue team looking pretty good, but they are a little bit of higher percent than the other team. And red team's going to take advantage of that.
Getting sloppy.
Yep. They got a KO, but my goodness. This is definitely, we talk about how heavy Iron Giant is. He's at 198. This is KO potential. So if you don't get him out of here quick, it's going to be a really long game for you. Don't let him keep getting damaged. Nice job from K7. He got hit a nice dodge backwards, and then caught the uppercut. Gets that KO off of him. Now on the left side of the stage, his teammate's going to fall because he wasn't able to get over there and help. Lost the exchange with Meth. One woman's going to fall on the left side of the stage. Now, the scrap is back in the building. Now, in the air, K7 has been doing a very good job against both players, but when Clueless does take the advantage, it means more. He's got him at 88%, 86%. Even if K7 would have won that exchange when they were scrapping in the air, he pushes Iron Giant to 80%. It doesn't matter as much, so it means more. So he's really got to win those exchanges.
Yes, and right now he's been having a little bit of trouble with those exchanges here, but K7 really going in and try to get a kill. Of course, the high blast ceiling not going to be able to get the kill just yet, but it will the second time around here. 66 right now on Clueless. They are trying to get a ladder on him as much as possible here. Going to get the shields in play. However, it might not be for worth, as right now 146 with some burn on the play. Not what you're looking for at the moment.
I like it. K7 decided he was going to opt to not even deal with Meth on the right side, and he tried to come over there and help with Clueless. Ends up falling because Meth was ready for it to jump on his teammate, but I like the idea. It's still looking heavily in Team State Fair's favor at the moment. 148-14. I'm talking Meth has not been touched since the Renaissance. He's just been doing whatever he wants. His teammate is taking a lot of damage and falling once again. That's another KO. Now the juggle is live on the Meth. They really got to make something shake. We're seeing another situation where somebody's not being touched, and that's Legendary Fred sitting at 109, barely ate something a second ago. He was sitting at 103, got clipped by something, got pushed to 109. No one's really been landing anything. So the decision here is, do you keep jumping K7, or do you find the damage onto this Wonder Woman that's been hurt for the longest?
Yeah, and that is a big determining factor here. They haven't been going after Legendary Pred too much. They've been really going after K7. And it brings back a point that I said in the first set that they fought against each other in. That, or it might have been a different set, where K7 is the big threat here out of the two. So they want to just try to get him taken care of, even though Legendary Pred is still here, because of the simple fact that we're seeing K7 be the one to take all the kills. And as you can see, it has led into their favors. They're able to take game number 3. They are one game away from taking grand finals over World's Greatest Detective, which, if I remember correctly, you said yourself that because they were on the winner side of grand finals, they were going to win easily.
Winner side of grand finals is supposed to solidify you a dub. You got
it's
there
supposed
for a reason.
to.
It's supposed to, right?
But this is MultiVersus, the curse. It's not 6-0, but loser side is looking good, and it seems like it's more common in MultiVersus to see the loser side win grand finals. I'm just saying.
That is true. I mean, I feel like this game, since it's 2v2, actually, I think any game that's 2v2. Where I'm playing a character, you're playing a character, not like a Marvel type game or something like that, right? Not tag. But any game where it's 2v2, it is harder to just guaranteed win, because you have 2 players on a team that can be counterpicked by a team's playstyle, rather than me as in my character I'm playing 1v1 getting counterpicked. You know what I mean? I think
exactly.
That's why this makes more sense that it flips the tide a little bit more of the loser side team winning. Because it's like, okay, us as a team, our characters and us as players kind of have your number, but you had everyone else's number. So you only got grand finals and winner side because you didn't lose to us. Now we're back to see you, and we just got your number. I don't know. It's kind of rough. I feel like I'm just spewing some nonsense, but I feel like I'm onto something at the same time. You know what I mean?
All I'm saying is that World's Greatest Detectives need to figure out a way to be able to deal with Team Stay Fair, because it seems like every single time Team Stay Fair wins a game, they just have another Stay Fair corn dog to energize themselves right back up, man.
The State Farm of State.
Don't knock it until you dog it. Those are like the best things ever.
Yo. I don't have any right now, but every time I go to Sam's Club, I buy a box of those for my kids. You know what I'm saying?
I get them all the time.
We keep those on deck.
Easy every night. Anyways, here we go. Game 4. This is a big game. This is important because if Team Stay Fair wins, they win. Plain and simple. So World's Greatest Detective, they have something to play for here.
Yeah, there's no more reset on the table. This is for the dub. You know what I mean? It's best of 5. They want that 3rd win to close this tournament out. So K7 and Legendary Pred, World's Greatest Detectives, this is all the pressure's on them. They have to make something shake here in this game. And I do see a little bit less pressure from K7. He's trying to find moments in this one. And that means that the moment is huge, and he recognized that. His teammate's going to fall. Double uppercut was coming to get him out of there too, but he was able to survive.
Oh man, and such a close moment for Red Team to take a second stock there. They're already looking high and mighty with taking that first stock away as such an early point in the game. But they are racking up a little more damage here. So we could see a double first stock going away. But at the same time, K7, 83 going up. So, and they really have not been going after Legendary Pred at all, which is not surprising. Like I said earlier, the big threat is K7, so the more they keep him away from being able to do from what he wants, the more safe they will be in the long run.
I mean, it's the fact that he's the threat because he's the aggressor, but it's also the fact that he's so light, man. This Batman has been getting terrorized, and it makes me wonder, like, I know K7's good enough to play other characters, and I just wonder why you wouldn't counterpick Iron Giant. Like, it's just been such a rough set trying to deal with the defense of this character. They had an opportunity to get Meth out of there, but able to fade over to the left, get back onto the stage with the help of Clueless coming up with the helicopter. Now, oh my gosh, trying, fishing, finally, Legendary Pred lands that hit, but at 162, it's almost doomsday for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, this is a terrible spot for them to be in, because now Red Team is one stock away. They just got to get rid of this last stock on K7, and they'll be able to take the entire tournament here. So they really have a lot going in their favor here, and they don't have to work for it as much. Oh yeah, they are looking for it so much right now. They just want to be done. They want to go to bed. They just want to wake up the next morning and be $150 richer each.
Oh yeah, get a little bit of bread, get the bragging rights. They want it, but it's not over yet. You see K7 and Legendary Pred picking and choosing, really being decisive about how they play the rest of this. My gosh, one more hit and K7 might be toast. He's caught in the orb. The butt bomb's coming down.
That could be it. It certainly is.
And there it is. Team State Fair with a beautiful team combination to close out the tournament. You have your champion.
Man, Meth and Clueless have been really impressing me lately for these past few weeks. Twice now I have gotten to commentate them, and both times they've won the entire tournament. They've been doing such an amazing work. And with Iron Giant as a character as well, a lot of people initially when he came out, yeah, he was stupidly broken. But then he got nerfed to oblivion and nobody was playing him. And Meth and Clueless, they have been loyal with the Iron Giant, and they've stuck with it as a duo. And look at how much it's been working in their favor. The more, and you were asking this earlier about why K7 isn't switching off of Batman. He's loyal to the character. If you stay loyal with your character, you're gonna learn things about a bad matchup that you're going to think, okay, I can do this even though I'm in a bad matchup and try to make things go a little bit more in my way. And Clueless is one of the best players when it comes to that, especially with Iron Giant, because that is not an easy character to pilot. And he's been so successful with it. Amazing work to Team State Fair.
Team State Fair. They did their thing, but shout out to the world's greatest detectives, Legendary Pred and K7. Everybody out there, give them a round of applause. Clap, 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 clap. I loved what we saw here, man. Every team came out and showed out. Kostelix and Mirror Man, Team Vitamin Water, Broski's Noobs Tier, so on and so forth. Everybody came through and put on a show tonight. This was one of the most high-octane Series E's I've gotten the pleasure to cast. So I just enjoyed all of it. That was very, very fun. I mean, but with that being said, we already got our champions. Y'all know what it is, Team State Fair. Go get you a corn dog, celebrate. You know what I'm saying? I've been your boy Zipmaster Flex, and this is Tailwinds. I know Tailwinds. You got anything else you want to speak to these people before we go?
Yeah, the fact that the season 1 for Series E is almost over. Do remember that. So the fact that Team State Fair was able to take this victory, that's 50 points for them to this season. That is big stuff for them. So in the next couple weeks here, you're going to be seeing a lot more high octane action. So you definitely don't want to miss it, because at the end of this, we're going to be crowning a reigning big champion, and you really want to be there for it. So anyways, that's going to be it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming out to Series E for this Friday with MultiVersus. Of course, I am Tailwinds, and that's it, Master Flex, and we'll see you guys next time.
Yay, so
Zip, my man, well done on the cast. You and Tailwinds crushed it today, and a great bracket and a huge win for Team State Fair coming through losers bracket, getting the shot at redemption there up against Team World's Greatest Detective, and they're able to get it done. And that means big wins for partnered squads here over the last few weeks, not named Vitamin Water. Mike and Ike a few weeks ago. Team State Fair here tonight, and it's going to make this run to the finish very, very interesting on our overall leaderboard. So I'm certainly looking forward to it. As Tailwinds and Zip said, I just want to thank you all, of course. And there it is, Team State Fair in second place. I do not believe this reflects the current standings in terms of tonight's results. So Team State Fair possibly even building on that lead further there. But of course, important to remember, Vitamin Water and Aegon both also finishing in the top 4 here today. So they're both also picking up some points. Important to remember that. But a huge run there from Team State Fair, and a full losers bracket run too, because Team State Fair lost in winners round 1 to World's Greatest Detective. So they had to make the deepest run in the bracket. They took care of business, and they get the win tonight. So well done. Hats off to those two, and congratulations here. That is going to do it for us tonight, folks. Another week of Series E action in the books. My name is Yeso. It's been a pleasure, as always, to hang out with you all and host the show here on a beautiful Friday night here in Orange County. Thanks so much for joining us. For myself, the entire live broadcast crew, and everybody here at Esports Arena, have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you next time.